Welcome to this special edition of the Marriage and Relationship Academy, hosted by GSW. This 3-day event offers insightful, practical, and pragmatic sessions dedicated to exploring all facets of marriage and relationships. These sessions are designed to provide you with the wisdom necessary to navigate and discern the realities of relationship from both a spiritual and horizontal perspective. You can anticipate gaining significant clarity regarding your unique marital and relationship journey. Join us and be blessed.
So there are about 4 or 5 topics that I deliberately didn't talk about in the last few days. And one of them is sex. And the reason I didn't talk about sex is because it is the most important part of a marital relationship. And I know that a lot of people, their questions will be centered around that. So let me say this categorically so that it can be clear to all of us. Between spirituality and sexuality in a marriage, sexuality is more important. And some of you would by now be screaming that you and your wife can have good sex is more important than that you and your wife can speak in tongues together, but that you can pray together. The place of sex in a marriage and the place of prayer are 2 different places. So sometimes I'll see women come and say, my husband does not pray with me. That's why things we are struggling. That's absolutely not true. Those who taught you such lies, they are absolutely lying. I mean that with all my heart. The destiny of 2 people, my destiny is not conditioned upon my wife praying for me. When I see people writing stuff on social media, marry a praying woman. It's a woman that will help you to make it in life. Reason it. Sometimes we need to use our brain to think, because some of us, we just follow bandwagon of people talking. So let's say your wife is angry with you now. Suddenly, things will not be difficult for you. So your wife is your God. She's the one that's answering your prayer. She's the one that is in charge of your success and failure in life. That's not fair. And the same thing for the husband. Your wife cannot say, because my husband does not pray for me that I didn't succeed. God didn't give anybody the right to control another person's destiny. Your destiny is in your own hand. So don't forget that. So when people, those narratives, please close the door on them. Just close the door. The only way they work is when the man does not believe in God and only the wife believes in God. So if your wife does not believe in God and you are the born again Christian, the Bible says you are a covering for your wife. Basically, in the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 7, it said that even your children are holy because of you, not because of the other person. So which means by virtue of you being a born again Christian and you pray and you can by the grace of God, speak forth protection and all sorts of good things on your husband or your wife. That is if the other party is not born again. But if both of you are Christians, you will pray your prayer and fulfill your destiny. I will pray my prayer and fulfill my destiny. In the vertical realm, we are not co-joined spiritually. We are not Siamese twins. As I'm speaking in tongues and calling forth the vision of God for my life, you are speaking in tongues and calling forth the vision of God for your life. Both of us sit down, we discuss this thing, we join hands together to pray. That is good. But you cannot stop me from attaining my destiny, and I cannot stop you from attaining your destiny spiritually. We are not bond servants to each other. We are both servants of Christ. And Christ has given to us our own spiritual rights, and He has given us template of our lives. So don't be a spiritually lazy person who would give the right to your future to your wife and say she should be praying when you go and hustle. No, you should pray. And you should pray and declare over your family and declare. Your wife should also do the same. Both of you should watch out for each other. One is not saddled with the spiritual responsibility, while the other one will sleep. You must understand that. But when it comes to sex, it's a 50-50 thing. The woman must be somebody that is willing to want to have sex. I have a lot of people who are Christians who basically hate sex and they want to be married. It makes no sense when you have to be talking to adults. Like when they are talking about the virgins and the lamp, and they say that some of them did not have oil in their lamp, and some have oil. It's exactly the same thing. Did you see in the Bible saying that you should go and pray for more oil? No, they didn't commit oil. Marriage essentially needs a lot of sex. Like you must be willing, you must be ready, you must love it, you must love sex, you must want to have sex. Cannot be somebody who hates sex and say you want to be married. You are just a wicked person. That's the truth. You are putting yourself in a place you don't belong. Marriage is essentially sex. When you go to court and they are talking about divorce, they will not ask you when last did you pray together. They will not ask you when last did you eat together. They will ask you when last did you have sex. If you have sex yesterday, no judge will listen to you to say they want to divorce you today. You must have not had sex for like 2 years or 3 years. If you are living in the same house and you don't have sex for 2 years, 3 years, it is ground for divorce. If you are living in the same house and you don't pray together for 10 years, it is not ground for divorce. So don't let's lie to ourselves. I like to be a very practical and pragmatic Christian. Now, somebody sent the question, and I find the person's level of intelligence to be quite low. So when I was talking about kinds of realities, and I mentioned a lot yesterday, there was no place where I said that means incest is allowed. Don't think like that. When people think like that, it betrays the fact that you are uneducated and that you are unteachable. When the mind is closed, we try to shine the light on it so that the mind can be open. I mentioned daughters of Zelophehad. I mentioned Judah. I mentioned you couldn't fault all those ones. When you listen to me only to fault my thinking, it shows that your thinking ability is faulted. I'm presenting my syllogism, not so that I can force you to believe anything. It's your option and your choice to live your life as you want. But you do not come to me trying to twist what I said in the name of asking a question. I find that to be quite unfortunate. Nobody should do that. It is not proper. All right. So we go to the issue of addictions. I've talked about sex habits. Sex is important. If you don't like sex, don't get married. Now, also under sex, somebody said finger, head, giving people head, blowjob. Let me tell you the truth. What a man and a woman who loves each other cannot imagine to do in the place of sex is up to them. Because if you really love somebody, you will kiss their forehead. You will touch their ear. You will kiss their ear. You will kiss their neck. You will kiss their mouth. You will kiss their nose. You will kiss their eyes. You will kiss the back of their neck. You love somebody, you will kiss them all over. You will touch them all over. All these things. You must take away the priggishness in our thinking. Because if you really love somebody, there is no part of their body that you will say is, I cannot touch it. I cannot touch it. No. If you really love someone, you would absolutely melt like butter. When somebody you truly love, when the person is around you, your heart begins to beat. You will notice an increase in your immediate metabolism, your heart, your body, your heart races. You notice that you notice temperature rising. It is normal. And when the person is with you, you want to sit close to the person, you want to touch the person, you want to put your head on the person's leg, some of us are very touchy, some are not so touchy by nature. But it doesn't mean that you don't want to have contact with the person that you claim to love, your husband or your wife. And then the Bible says both of them are naked and not ashamed. So both of you are naked and then you begin to put in rules. No, the light must be off. To sleep with your own husband, the light must be off. You must not see me when I undress. You see, there are some conditioning of your brain that you need to address yourself over. Your husband cannot see you naked. The light must be off, because before you sleep with your own husband, what are you hiding? Is there something that they ought to know? Tell him. Because both of you are supposed to be able to make love in the house. You're supposed to be able to make love in the car. You're supposed to be able to make love if you go on vacation, if you get a beach house. You're supposed to be able to make love on the beach in front of your beach house. You're supposed to be able to make love anywhere, touch each other, love each other. That is the essence of being married. When you begin to put in rules, this is your side of the bed. If you don't give me money, you cannot touch me. You are not a prostitute. Take that mindset away. All these people rewarding each other with sex in a marriage. Say, I will not honor you with my body because, come on. Those things, they affect your marriage greatly. But one of the things they do is that they betray the fact that you, the person that is trying to put boundaries where God has not put boundaries, the person is the one with a closed mind and the person that has to deal with issues. That's the truth. So if you really understand what it means to be naked and unashamed, you are with your partner. Your partner is, in fact, you will not even know when your partner will touch some places with his finger. You will not know when he will touch the places with his mouth. And you will be open to it. You will not be able to say, no, that's wrong. That's wrong. Your brain, the person that wired your brain, maybe a pastor or preacher or thought or imagination, they are wired it wrongly. I'm trying to unwire it for you so that you can enjoy your life. There is nothing, a husband and a wife, in their own closet, there is nothing that is forbidden for them. Both of them in agreement, not that the husband will rape the wife or the wife would do, no. Both of them giving consent as husband and the wife. There is nothing that is beyond them to do on their own marital bed. And I will then shock you. Do you know angels walk with us? Angels follow us. We have angels, all of us. Angels will follow husband and wife into the room because angels are always with us. If we are born again Christian, when you are making love, angels will look away. They are still protecting you, but they do not look at, because they don't do it. They don't make love. So it's an intimate part of your horizontal relationship that is exclusive to the two of you. What you do in your own bed as husband, as wife, is up to you. It is your body, it is up to you. So nobody should make rules and legislate sexual activity between a couple. Nobody should do that. That is the answer to all the questions regarding sex. Now, I'm going to addictions. If you have a husband that is gambling, that's an addiction. You have a husband that is over drinking, that's an addiction. You have a husband a drunkard. You have a husband that's a glutton who eats too much, that's an addiction. You have a husband who is on drugs, or a wife who is on drugs. Because I keep saying husband now, it will now seem as if I meant only men do that. So if you have a husband or a wife, any spouse who has any form of addiction, either to food, to drink, to sex, to opioids, to heroin, to cocaine, to weed, any form of addiction, you notice that this person has this addiction and it seems incurable. You have two options. It's either you are going to enable that person or you are going to help that person. An addict is a slave, you see, to that which he is addicted to. Let me tell you the meaning of slavery. Slavery means he has no power, no control, no strength of will to exercise his agency as a human being. He couldn't. That thing has taken over the power of his will. So if you enable him, if you say, we are praying for him, one day it will change. You are a bad partner. What you do in that case is that you cry for help. You cry for help. You call his people. You call you immediately when you notice this pattern. This guy is always drinking, vomiting. You are picking him up, or he's on even when he's on this drug, he's on that drug, or he's gambling away all his money, and then he's borrowing money from loan apps, and then he's putting the family's finances in jeopardy, or that he's using a particular drug. They'll be going crazy little by little. You'll be saying odd things, and you notice it. Don't say I'm praying. I'm fasting. Don't do that. Don't be silly. There's something called intervention. That's what you look for. You are not going to report to pastor. Pastor is not the one. It's parents. Because addiction usually would end up destroying the person that is addicted and all those who love the person. You will notice a gambler will take his money, spend it, then will borrow money, spoil the family name. Then your money, take it. He will not pay school fees. He will not pay rent. He will not be financially responsible. He's putting his own job at risk, and then debt collectors will begin to chase him, and then they will take the car from him, and then you will notice this pattern. You notice it. This is everybody suffers when one person is an addict. That's how it works. If the person is addicted to drugs, the person will be looking for money for drugs because the person will not be able to work. Drug will take away the ability to work. With them in, the person will need money to finance that thing, and then the person will sell your properties, sell your land, sell your house, sell your car. You know that this person is under, in quote, an influence, an external influence that is beyond you. Don't say he will be angry. No, he has no agency anymore. An addict has no power of agency to think for himself. So you are still looking at him as he's my husband. I don't want him to be angry. If I expose him to people, they will say we are talking our matter to the third party. When it comes to addiction, he has lost the agency, the right to decision making, he has lost it. Therefore, you would expose that addiction. You will call his father, call his mother, call his brothers, call everybody. You will call community. I'm not kidding. You would pay the attention on it, so that everybody will be like, no, that is the only way you save an addict. Once everybody knows, and you are not enabling, then everybody will understand when you don't give him money. When an addict comes to you, when I've had addicts around me and I've helped a lot, they will come to you, they will say, but I want to report my wife. She's not so supportive. She's not this. She's not that. I spent all my money on her. I help her. They will lie. And then you, because the wife is protecting him, you will now be like, hey, sorry. Let me find something for you. What have you done? You will then give this addict 50,000 or 20,000, thinking that you are helping. As soon as he gets the 20,000, he goes off to get his drug. Then you see the wife in church on Sunday, and then you say, Madam, I want to see you. Your husband came to see me. Then she will say, what did he say? He said you took all his ATM, you cleared the money, he was broke, he wanted to travel for an interview. I had to give him. Oh, Pastor, why did you give him? He's an addict. I was like, why didn't you say so? If you had told me that he was an addict, do you think I would then help him? Because it takes a community to stop it. When you starve all resources from an addict, and the addict comes to himself, when he reaches rock bottom, most likely he will turn around. But when you keep quiet, because it's a thing of shame, you keep quiet, you don't talk, you see, they said we should not discuss our matter with the third party, and you don't say anything about it, then the person will begin to punish you with this addiction. And it's not as if he's benefiting of the addiction. If he's taking money from you, he's giving it to betting houses. Those ones are getting richer. Your children will pay. They will not be able to pay school fees. You will not be able to pay rent, and it will continue to dump money to other people. It will continue to collect loan from other people and do things like this to hurt your home. At the end of the day, the marriage will be destroyed because you kept quiet. So we do not enable addicts. We shout out, we cry out, we say, hey, before this thing would get out of hand, I'm calling your father, I'm calling your mother. If they have to carry you, take you to rehab, they have to do it. But it is not going to be on me. I married you as an individual person with agency. Now you don't have agency anymore. So I cannot discuss with you. Your brain is not thinking well. your body is not thinking well, your focus is changing, you are dopamine driven. So you cannot talk to, I am a normal person, you are now an abnormal person. So I have to return you to normalcy for us to have a proper discussion. So you don't encourage, you don't cover up an addict, you don't cover them up, you expose it. Any form of addiction, including gluttony. Somebody is eating and getting fatter and fatter and fatter and fatter. Don't say, it's their family structure. No, expose it. Say, no, I don't want this thing. I don't want this thing. It's not good for you. It's not good for your heart. It's not good for your body. You cannot gain weight like this. You have to talk about this thing. And when it comes to addiction, you must bring in all the help you need. You must bring in bazooka, MP4, napalm, nuclear bomb. I'm not kidding. You will bring in everything. You will not be quiet until you kill it. You will use prayer. You will use people. You will use influence. You will use everything in your power to kill it. Because that thing, when it takes a hold of a man, it dehumanizes people so much that at the point they end up killing those who they love. You will see an addict who will kill their mother, kill their father because they are looking for money for a fix. They will stab somebody to death. They would because they cannot reason, and nobody can kill them for it. They can't kill them for it. I remember a girl that killed her mother, and then I went for prison ministry at women's prison in Lagos, and I saw her. Now she's out of addiction. She's still a prisoner, but she's no longer an addict. I remember the first day when she killed her mother. When they did an interview, I was watching it on TV, and I remember the way she was talking. She came from America, and then she wanted money for a fix. The mother refused, and then she stabbed the mother to death. And then that day they arrested her because why would she want to? She was an addict. She couldn't think. And then they put the microphone in her mouth. Why did you kill your mother? And I was like, she didn't give me what I want. She didn't give me what I want. Okay. 2 or 3 years later, I then went for prison ministry at Kirikiri. And then I saw her. And she was talking very well. She was fine because they didn't give her drugs in prison now. So the addiction was gone. But her future had been destroyed. She was already in prison maybe for life. And I was talking to her and I said, I remember you. Look at you. You look better in prison than when you're out of prison, which means when she was out of prison and under the influence of drugs, if you see her, the way her hands were sunken, the way the cheekbones were inside, everything, you would look at her and say, did this one just come from America? Wow. But in prison, even though she was eating prison food, she looked healthier. That was the day I understood the power of addiction. And I said, no, if I have an addict around me, I'm not going to keep quiet. I'm going to expose it. I'm going to shout. It doesn't matter whether the person is my husband, father of my children. It doesn't matter. I will expose this thing. I'm not going to say I'm fasting, I'm praying. The pastor Leand, and then we begin to say his enemy. They didn't kill goat, they didn't kill ram. No. You kill addiction of any level, you expose it. The Bible says you do not cover this thing, rather expose it. So expose these things. All right. Let's move on to the next point. The issue of cheating in marriage. Now, we know that from generation to generation, we have people with different upbringing, background, understanding of relationship, motive of being in a relationship, people dealing with different kinds of trauma. People who come from abusive background, people who have fathers who are cheats, people have mothers who are cheats, people have mothers who have multiple husbands. So all of us came from different background, all of us. But the problem I have with many of us is despite the fact that we know that everybody came from different backgrounds, we expect everybody to behave the same way. And that's funny. That's funny. You can't imagine how shocking it will be if you married somebody who didn't grow up with a parent, an orphan. If you have an orphan for a friend, and both of you are talking, and you are assuming that an orphan sees the world the way you see the world, that's not true. Orphans usually have, not all of them, but many of them, they have insecurity issues. The reason for that is they want to have a family. They want to have a family they belong to. So if they manage to love you and you manage to love them, the way they will hold on to you, you'll be thinking, what is the, but you will not hold on to them like that because you came from a family where all of you have learned the balance of relationship. You have a mother, you have a father, you have siblings. You didn't grow up alone. So I've seen several cases of orphans where when they grow up, where you need to help them find the right kind of wife or husband that will give them that balance, that will integrate them into their family, into their own extended family before they start having children, so that they also grow that balance. Now, I'm not picking on orphans, I just use that as an example. Same thing with those who grew up with irresponsible parents, one side, maybe the father did not accept them and their mother raised them to be beat as a bitter woman. You will notice the way it will affect their thinking. So everybody then dresses up on Sunday and comes to church. And nowadays, everybody will buy wig. Ladies will buy wig. The men will go and do nice haircuts. Everybody will dress and come to church. So you cannot tell uh, where they are coming from, what their background is, who they are. They see you, they say they like you like them back, you start talking to each other, feelings develop, you marry. And usually after marriage, you expect that both of you should be the fulfillment that the other person is looking for. That I shouldn't be looking for anything again after I've met you. And you also shouldn't be looking for anything again after you've met me. We should be the completion of each other. The way Adam and Eve were, that as soon as Adam saw Eve, he said, "Oh, this is woman. This is the bone of my bones, the flesh of my flesh. You're completing." That is the ideal. However, we then notice that in some cases, either the man or the woman, after a few months in the relationship, the person feels what we call a void, as if something is still missing, as if there is still a gap. And then the person begins to search for it, another conquest, another person to talk to, another person to talk to, another person to love, while still loving you as the wife. That is even the nice kind of cheating. There's another kind of cheating where the person just sleeps with people randomly, anyhow. He is a sex addict. He or she just over and over, it doesn't matter whether the person even talks to them, they can sleep with a stranger at the drop of a hat. And the person also is married. And you are wondering, okay, you are married, you have a wife at home, you have children, and yet you can't stop chasing skirts, or you can't stop chasing trousers, and you are wondering why. I've seen extreme cases, and personally, because of what I do, I've seen so many extreme cases. I've seen guys that you open their phone, you'll see all forms of contacts, apps. I want this one for as well. There are apps that they use to just pick up a girl just by typing location. The girl will just pick the call and come. And they are downloading their apps all over social media, and they are meeting girls. And many of them, you see pornography, you see all those things. This is not ideal. This is not what we want as believers, but this is real. This is real. Before phones came, it was a problem. Our mothers complained of it. Their own mothers complained of it. Their own mothers complained of it. Our fathers complained of it. Their own fathers complained of it. I remember reading an article as far back as 1990 in Tribune newspaper, where, let me mention his name, one of the favorite writers of my dad, who writes features for Tribune newspapers, wrote about an encounter I had in their church. He said they were in church. He was a young child, and they were in church, and it was time for communion. And I noticed that when the priest called for communion, only the women were going out to collect communion, to receive communion. That student turned to his father and said, "Daddy, why are the men not standing up? Is it not that husband and wife are sitting together in church, And then communion time came, and only the women were going to collect communion. And then the father told him that those are first wives. He said, "Oh, so all these men have two wives?" He said, "Yes. One is the wife at home, one is another woman somewhere." So they will not tell their wives that they have a wife. They didn't really marry a wife. Most of the time it's side chick. But because of that, and the way the church has taught them that if you have anything hidden and all that, you cannot eat the communion, then most of the men will not eat communion. I read it. I think it's still online. So I read it as far back as that time. And it was a bit of a puzzle to me as I was growing up. I realized, oh, this is a societal thing. This is a societal thing that people marry, and many, don't let me say some, many cannot commit to the vow that they made with their partners. Nowadays, when I was growing up, I used to think that it is usually that most women are faithful, that it is the men that are unfaithful. As I grew older and gained more experience in life, I realized that it is almost the same. It is a problem with human nature. So when you identify a problem, what you then do is try to solve it, not make excuses for it. I'm not one of those that will say it is what it is. No, no, no. It is a problem. And speaking in tongues does not stop it. Being spiritual does not stop it. That's the truth. It is self-determination that kills it, not the shouting of the partner. It is the self. It is this person that will say to himself, like Job said, "I have trained my eyes not to look at a woman lustfully. I've trained my mouth not to speak words that I shouldn't speak. I trained my legs not to walk where they shouldn't go. Trained my ears not to hear things they shouldn't hear. And I've trained my mind not to process thoughts they shouldn't process." This is self. This is you. This is you. And it is not about the other person. So I notice again in our generation that a lot of people will do, if he cheats on me, I will cheat back. I find that reasoning to be extremely dwarfish. Apologies to the dwarfs listening, but what I mean by that is it is a wholesome thinking, but it is beneath the capacity of the thinker. It is so small. Because I do not believe that I should lose my agency to you, or you should lose your agency to me in a marriage. So that if you do something bad, I'm not Bonnie and Clyde. I do not believe that if the husband carries a gun today, says he's going to rob, that a wife, because she had a vow that I will be with you forever, with this I will love you, with your body I will endow. So the wife will carry pistol and follow him. Of course, most women will say no to that. You will say, "No, I'm not going to rob a bank with you." And if the wife says to the husband, "Oh, I want to go commit fraud at work," the husband will say, "No, no, 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 no." If you are well brought up, you have your agency in a marriage, you will tell each other no when you know that this thing is getting out of hand. But then when it comes to the issue of promiscuity in marriage or infidelity, I will hear some people say, "If he cheats on me, I will cheat back." Or "If she cheats on me, I will cheat back." That's the answer. That is the wrongest way to think. I have a principle that has served me well over the years. I have a name. I have a name. I have a surname. My wife has a name, has a surname. If I cheat on my wife and they begin to shout my name, they will not be shouting her name. Oh, it's my name. If she cheats, however, and they begin to shout her name, no, nobody will shout my name. Everybody will bear their name at that point. So everybody will answer to their own name. See, you will not answer my name, I will not answer your own. So your action would differ. If you do something wrong and they want to throw you in prison, they will not put me in prison for you. They will put you in prison. So you will not, I will not, because you did something wrong, then do something wrong. I find that to be quite puerile, quite childish. That kind of response, I find it to be, come on, unworthy of my my kind of intelligence. But it is a problem that has to be solved. which then means if husband and wife would be open to each other the way they should be open. I mean it, open. Not in such a way that if the husband tells the wife something, I've seen women that said, because one day I was discussing with my husband, and then my husband then told me that when he was driving yesterday, he saw a girl he liked, and that he winked at the girl and girl waved at him, but that he just drove off. But from that moment, I began to feel insecure. I began to check his phone. I said, no, no, that is the wrongest way to react. Again, babies, marriage is not for children. You should know that after you marry your husband, that people will still see him and like him. Some people will still crush on your husband. I mean, the teenagers, young teenagers, girls in their 20s, girls that come to his office to do a YSL, they will see him and they don't want to marry him. They just like him. You know, there are men. It will always happen. You cannot stop that. And the same thing with you. From the day you got married as a woman, that wasn't the day men stopped admiring you. Men will still look at you and say hi, hello. Men will still come to you and say, can I buy you lunch? Men will still want to pick up the cost of your groceries at the supermarket. Men will still want to come and help you pack your groceries into your car when they see that you are struggling with something. Men will offer to drive you home. Either the men are married or single does not matter. You just have to understand that the fact that both of us are married does not mean that the world is closed and that we are now in a garden, both of us, and there's no more interaction with the outside world. There will be interaction. So in the course of the interaction, if your husband says something nice and he says to you, today I saw a lady. When I saw her, I said, oh, this girl is beautiful. You shouldn't be offended. You shouldn't. So again, this is how people begin to develop insecurity and then push their partners away. They feel that if their partner says to them, if your wife comes around and says, there's this guy in my office, fine boy, don't be offended. Don't be like, hey, that means my wife is liking him. No. Let her be able to talk to you about these things. See, you must let the channel of communication be so open between the two of you that there is virtually nothing that he cannot discuss with you and you will show understanding. Because oftentimes you then see a couple say, he would then hold on to anything I tell him, or she will hold on to anything I tell her, and then next time I'm talking, she will say, go and meet that girl. She you say you saw one girl 2 days ago. Hey, go and meet her now. Leave me alone. It is in your heart. It is in your heart. You know what you want to do in your own heart. Sorry, if I'm acting it, it's because I've seen it, or let me say I've experienced it. So I understand why such things can then happen, where the man would then feel, I cannot talk to my wife. I cannot even tell her things. Everything drives her nuts. And the wife feels, if I should tell him that, a colleague dropped me at home now, my husband will not be able to sleep all night. He will begin to interview me. Who dropped you? Where did you go? Where did you leave the office? Let me see your phone. Did you call him? No. No. We want to cure the problem. Cheating exists in the fringes of secrets. Cheating and secrets are in the same pot. You see what I'm trying to do? When you don't encourage openness in communication between you and your man, or between you and your wife, you would have created a void where he or she can keep secrets. You see, that place where he or she is keeping secrets, keeping all the dark desires and the normal things she should have talked out of her system, or she should have talked out of her system, where he's keeping it, that is where cheating starts from. So marriage is for matured people to be able to talk. That's why I said, don't check your spouse's phones. That is not communication. Your spouse should be able to talk to you so much that you don't need to password their phone anymore. I'm not kidding. The only reason my phones are password is because of for security reasons, for the banking app and all that. The phones will insist you must password them, but my wife knows my password. I'm not joking. I don't know how. I do not need to. I don't believe I should be I cannot. I cannot see myself that way. Maybe it's also a question of how I see myself. I cannot see myself waiting for somebody to sleep, picking the person's phone, running into the toilet, locking the toilet, and then unlocking the person. I cannot. Because again, you did that does not mean the person will not cheat. So open the communication channels, be mature. If you are driving, both of you are driving, and your husband, if somebody greets your husband, Mr. Abing, how are you? And you say, oh, hi, how are you? And then we drive on, and you say, who is that girl? Where did you meet her? Oh, I met her in church, or I met her at work, or I met her in the mall, and all that. And you were saying, hey, the way she's looking at me, that girl is looking. I said, no, don't go there. Don't. Just enjoy. Let your relationship be free of all those sorts. That's not love. When you begin to throw, and it's not good to be like that. Then the partner will then begin to censor what they say to you. So you are married to somebody, you want to talk to the person, you will say it halfway. You you will not be able to be open because you know they cannot handle it. A lot of women will tell me, if I tell him he cannot handle it, the man will tell me, if I tell her what happened, she cannot handle it. She'll just flip off the handle. I say, So if your partner begins to now edit content, edit things for you because he is managing you, then surely he will cheat. And because he is used to managing you, then he will cheat and he will still manage you will not know. But if you allow yourself to be open, this is my man, this is my man, this is my woman, both of us are together. And then somebody look at your woman so much, says, that guy, if I give him a chance, where he will take me to is far. I say, hey, that guy, I'll be okay. You just laugh over it and you say, okay, I trust you. I know that you can handle yourself. Because I say that all the time. Before you married this person was managing himself. You married this person not as a child, not as a 15-year-old, not as a 14-year-old. You married an adult. And this person who you married as an adult was able to not marry other people or sleep around or mess around until the person met you. So your coming into the place does not take away the ability of that person to manage himself or herself. So don't suddenly turn to the person's police and all that. And open up the channels of communication. I've seen this as a cure to cheating in many people that I have counseled. I've told the perpetrator of maybe the cheat, I will tell the person, from today, if you see any girl you like, tell your wife, say it. Say, today I saw a girl, I like that, I looked at her, but I didn't do anything. Say it to your wife, you will see that the desire will die. But the moment you don't say it, you will just be let me correct that. You just see that desire continues to fester, continues to grow because it is in that secret place, and bad things grow in dark places. But if you bring it out, I saw a guy today. I saw my ex. I saw my ex last week. They said he came back from the UK. He even said he wanted to see me. I said no. What's that? I'm married now. I belong to my husband. My love, and that is the matter. We should not hear later that I didn't know what carried me there. No. So we should not. We are not a child. So when adults behave like children, sometimes they don't cry when the repercussion comes. So you shouldn't behave like a child. You are not a child bride. I mean, you're not a child groom. You married. One thing I told my wife, and I will stand by it. I told her, I said, if you heard that I'm with another woman anywhere, it is not the devil. It is not village people. It is not the woman. It is I. I just know that I chose to go do that. I'm not somebody who passes the buck. I like taking responsibility. And if I hear that anything like that happened with you, I'm not going to say, oh, he deceived her. Oh, he's older than her, he's younger than her, he's her boss. Or, I'm not going to give excuses. You did that. Accountability is important. Taking responsibility is important. So if anybody messes up, it is the person. It's not the devil. It's not village people. Nobody did jojoro. Nobody used Indian ring, or nobody used Indian perfume, or nobody used pheromones. No. It is you. This is you. This is all you. You must take that out. This is me. At least let's start from there. That I know I am in control of my own agency as a person, and that I am in charge of my own decision making. I am an adult. I can drive. I'm above 18. I can do other things, that I can vote. So if I can vote, if I can drive, I can as well choose whether I want to be faithful to my spouse or not. And if I choose not to be faithful to my spouse, I can as well own up to it and say, this is me. Right? Let's start from there. Don't blame a third party. This is me. Now, how do I then want people or the world or God to see me? It is not about my spouse, now it's about me. When people are talking about me, what do I want them to say? Of course, people will still talk trash. Only God knows how many times I've been called a fake pastor. I don't care. I'm not a pastor at all. So even if you put fake there, it doesn't like you are calling me fake CEO. I'm not a CEO. So I'm not a pastor. I'm a Christian brother. And so when we say, I just ignore. Because people will still talk that. But what people say and who I am are two different things. I do not want people to see me as a weakling who cannot master his emotions. I don't want people to describe me when they are mentioning people like Esau, Absalom, Esau, Amnon. I do not want my name to enter into the list of those kind of people. Samson. So when you are listening, you now list Samson, you list Absalom, you list Esau, then you want to add my name. No. I do not belong in that lineage. When people are calling my name, they are going to call the God of Abraham, they are going to call the God of Isaac, they are going to call the God of Israel, and then they are going to say, oh, the God of Balagbinga. That's how they will list me in the lineage of those that have been called the righteousness of God and that are behaving according to how they are called by God. They are not men of the flesh, they are men of the spirit who are living stones. That is the lineage I belong to. So as a result of that, it helps me in my thinking of such things. And I'm saying the same to you. If you are somebody who is in a marriage and you are unfaithful, it speaks volume about you. So it's not about your partner. It's not. It changes the perspective, changes how people see you. But that really doesn't matter. What matters is you. How do you see yourself? How do you look at yourself in the mirror? What do you say to yourself when you can make a vow and not keep it, or keep to it? All right. Now, I'm going to get to testy water here, but I will. When somebody has cheated over and over and over in a relationship, and you are tired as a partner, you are tired, you want it to stop, but the person seems unable to stop. What do you do? One of the things that I like to make clear is that, just like I spoke about addiction earlier, marriage between two people is very good. Both of us, health-wise, we are clean, which means you can put your mouth, your finger, your tongue anywhere you want. And in your heart, you are safe. In your body, you are safe. if you introduce a third element into this equation, it then puts me in danger because you will take the pleasure from that. If you go sleep with somebody who has gonorrhea, for example, you are going to be the one to take pleasure in the sex, right? But when the consequences of that sex then comes, you will not be the only one to take the consequence of that pleasure. If you give me an infection, you give me an STI, but I didn't cheat, simply because I'm married to you and based on trust, I do not use protection with my own wife or my own husband. And then you then go sleep with somebody and you bring an infection to me to the point where I have to do surgery. I know somebody that they had to remove her womb. Her entire uterus was removed because the husband was an unfaithful man who brought her an infection. And at first, they did some procedures. It wouldn't stop. Eventually, they saw that if they don't remove the uterus, she was going to develop cancer of the uterus. They had to cut out her womb because the husband was sleeping around. I know men who their wife gave STI that made their semen unable to produce children ever again. One is very close to me. It was the wife that gave him the disease. He got the disease. After they cured it, they realized that the sperm has become so watery, he couldn't till today produce children. So it goes both ways. The danger, by opening the door, you open me to danger. Not only that, if you say, oh, I'll be careful, I'll use protection, the person you are dating could be a mad person who will want to kill me. You cannot know the heart of man. You will see somebody dating someone, and the next thing, the person is sending a message to the wife at home. I've seen that case several times. Where you sit at home, and then your phone will ring, you open it, and then you will see, I'm the so and so dating. So and so is my boyfriend. If you don't leave him alone, I will take your name home to Ijebu. They will finish you. And the wife will then come and show me that. Come and see. A girl sent me this message yesterday. A girl that this man has been sleeping with has the audacity, the effrontery to say that she's going to take my name to juju people. So if you open me up sexually, you are opening me up to this same person to have my number, to be able to send assassins to me or soldier, or to be able to beat me up. You are draining the family's finances. Either way. Or if it is the other man that decides that, oh, I want to snatch you from your wife, like David and Uriah. And you know that story very well in the Bible, that it was David that coveted the wife, but it was the husband that died. This man was innocent. Simply because he married Bathsheba, he lost his wife. Why? Because somebody powerful liked her, slept with her, got her pregnant, did not want the secret to come out, and then had to kill the husband. And the only fault of Uriah here was that he married a woman who is not faithful. So if you begin to cheat, you expose my life to danger. You are opening me up to not only financial distress, emotional distress, mental distress. You are opening me up to have to explain to the children we have that their father was not the kind of man that I thought he is, or their mother was not the kind of mother that I thought that she was. You are going to give me unnecessary stress. You want to kill me in my prime. And my dear, it is true that you marry for better, for worse. The part where it says till death do us part did not give you the right to murder me. I'm saying that to you. When they said till death do us part, they didn't say till you kill me. They said till death do us part. That means if we both behave the way we should behave, we should live long until one of us goes home to be with the Lord, and then I'll join you later. Or you join me later. But if it comes to the point where you have to forcibly take my life, that is not part of my marriage contract. And so you will not endanger my life by sleeping around. You will not expose me to the hordes of hell by sleeping around, and I will not expose you to the same. I mean that. Which is why cheating is a deal breaker in every sense. I will sit you down, I will talk to you the way I'm speaking now. I'm not kidding. Especially to many of the women who had borne it. Because I know many of my brothers, some of them bear it for certain reasons. If you see a man whose wife is cheating consistently all the time, he's not rich. The wife is the one providing the food. So he's bearing it because she's providing the food. That's it. That's the truth. Men, when the wife starts cheating, first time, second time, by third time, they are logging out. It's true. And I saw a man whose wife was cheating on him, and he would come to me asking for prayers. He would cry. I was wondering that, hey, this is a very unique guy. I said, do you have a job? He said, yes. How much do you earn? He told me. And you know this girl is cheating. He said, yes. And all you want is what? I want her to come back. I want her back. I was like, wow, wonderful. I hope this girl has not, because it's not normal. I mean it. Most men, when they catch you cheating, they give you warning. They give you warning. By the third or fourth month, or the fourth of, at worst, the fifth attempt, they are checking out. They know their life is not safe. And they know that they can always move on and find somebody who can live with them, who can at least ensure that they have a good life. Women, however, are the ones who have to stay in it, even though sometimes they will give the man paternity fraud issues and all that because of some of the, but women are the ones that will cry foul the most because their husband is the provider and is cheating. And then they will be stuck. Why? To leave that marriage, they are weighing their pros and cons. They have children, they have to parent, they have to get a home. They don't want to go to their father's house if they still have a father that will welcome them. They don't want to go to stay with a friend. They know once they leave the marriage, getting another husband will be difficult. There's a lot of situation, which means most women would then have to sit in that house and be considering how to survive in their own home. When you notice your partner is cheating, stop sleeping with him. He has already started. So it wasn't lack of sex that made him start cheating. It is because you wanted something else outside, or she wanted something else outside. For the sake of your own health, for the sake of your life, stop. I mean that. You tell him, you are cheating. I do not feel, I feel sexually compromised. So I do not want to sleep with you when you are sleeping with other people. If he swore, I didn't cheat with anybody, I swear, all this is a lie, please, I love you. Okay, let's go to the hospital and do medical tests. You must go to the hospital, you must do tests. When you see the result of the test that is as he was when you married him, clean, without HPV, HIV, Staphylococcus, any of those things, free, you can say, okay, even though you are suspecting that he's cheating, at least he's still intact. Sleep with him. Pay attention. If you notice he's cheating again, don't sleep with him again. Every time you say, well, I have to be sure. Because of the dangers involved in this. You have to be deliberate about protecting yourself so that you can at least be available to protect and raise your children. If he's cheating or her cheating leads her in a direction that it shouldn't go. So some people say Jesus said, oh, for that case, people can divorce. Jesus wasn't talking to you and I. And some of you will be shocked that I said that. I'm saying it again. When you read the Gospels, Jesus was talking to the Jews. You are not Jews. The disciples of Jesus at that time were not born again. They were just following him. Jesus was talking, they were listening. And the Pharisees will come and ask him questions, and he will answer the Pharisees directly. So, because Jesus was talking to the Pharisees, you are not Pharisees, he wasn't talking to you. There's a way Jesus addresses the church, there's a way he addresses the world. That's why he said that to you it has been given to understand the mysteries of the kingdom. So you will notice that in the scripture, Jesus was not, what he says to the Pharisees sometimes, he would then go and explain later to his disciples. Even at that time, the disciples were not yet full of the Holy Spirit. So what he's saying to them, many of them couldn't comprehend it in full. So when you read the Bible the way you should, and you are not just a religious person, you will not be quoting what Jesus was saying to the Pharisees as what he was saying to you. No, no. You are not a Pharisee. You are a born-again Christian, members of his body, his flesh, and his bones, member of the assembly of the saints in light. And Jesus loves you. So when you find yourself in such a situation, you call the intervention of people. The Bible said that it's allowed for you to call 2 or 3 people and say, Daddy, Mommy, come. I cannot, in good faith, continue to sleep with this man or with this woman because it is exposing my life to risk. They should talk to the person. The person should make the choice. If the person decides to stay with you, then the person will have to let go of that wandering spirit. If the person decides not to stay with you, then at least it is clear. And both of you can then decide, okay, we want to co-parent, we want to do this, we want to do that. Because I found out from experience that some people cannot stop cheating. You can pray, you can fast all you want, you can, whatever you want, you can say, they won't stop. And some people, they will stop. They will weigh the pros and cons and decide, hey, this thing is not good for me. And then they will stop. It is better not to start or to go in that pattern or in that direction at all. And that is what I'm saying to you. The problem that it brings, I'm telling you, it is I've never seen the kind of, because when we talk about sexual pleasure, many people don't understand sexual pleasure the way they should. For men, it is not actually the sexual act. It is not. There is this sense of fulfillment that we get from sleeping with a girl. That's it. I mean that you can get a girl to take off her clothes and then go that intimate with you. It gives you a kind of a pleasure, a psychological pleasure, an exhilaration like no other. That's the truth. That is actually the point. The problem then stems from that point that for every action that you say, there's going to be a counter action. So if you get her to take off her clothes so that you can have that sense of satisfaction, like, and when I saw her, she was, that's fine girl. I said, I must sleep with this one. When you then go after her and sleep with her, that's why that you are married, she then has a right to also react. And her reaction could be that she could then decide that, oh, okay, I'm sitting with this guy. I'm going to take his name to this place. I'm going to do this juju. I'm going to do that. He's not going to sleep with me and just dump me like that. And then you get stuck with the person, and then you find yourself in a battle for your life. It is that thing, that conquest, that's actually the problem. It is not the sex itself. No man knows the kind of sex a woman is chasing will serve. Some people, they've chased the girl. Eventually, when they slept with her, they are like, you know how it was in the Bible. The Bible said, Amnon wanted to sleep with Tamar. And Amnon was like, I cannot sleep. I cannot eat. I cannot do anything. If I don't sleep with that girl, They said every day, night and day, he will lay on his bed. Hey, Tamar, until the son of Jonadab, David's brother, told him that, hey, invite her to your room. Tell your father you are sick, that you want her to cook for you. Invite her to your room. And then sleep with her. Let's hear a word. And then Amnon then did it. He told her the father was sick, said, I would like Tamar to cook for me. Tamar came, Tamar cooked. Then he couldn't undo it. He raped her. And then after raping her, you know what happened? He just hated her. Why? Because You expect a girl to melt in your heart. He expected, because it was Amnon, the crown prince, he expected that if he tells any girl in the kingdom, come to my bed, the girl will come. And then this girl resisted. This, this girl didn't respect the office of the crown prince. He said, come to my bed. The girl said, no, don't do this. I don't want to sleep with you. I want to marry first. You cannot talk to me like that. I'm the crown prince. And then the seventh time, there was no joy. It led to his death. It led to his death. And I'm saying that here now because ladies don't really understand why men cheat. It is not the sex. How many bullets do you think really a man has in his gun that he has to be firing up and down? How many bullets? Most men, apart from when they are young and they are 15, 16, 17, 20, maybe 25, most men by 30, number of bullets was three times. Like, I can do three times. Better you go to two times. Better, and then when they master sex properly, one round of sex that is done well, they will see that, okay, the wife will not even ask for second round. It's the truth. I learned that in the Catholic Church. when they were teaching us sex in the Catholic Church, the priest, the person teaching us said, you guys are saying you want to do 2 rounds, 3 rounds. One round is 5 minutes, second round is 7 minutes. He said averagely, most of you will do 11 minutes. He said, I will teach you how to have sex. You would never do anything less than 40, 45 minutes. And no girl you slept with would ever say that they want a second round. And all of us laughed. Like, ha 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 ha, impossible. And this man went on and he taught us in that class sex. And I guarantee, I am telling you, it is a revolutionary. Because most people don't really know how to have sex. They just jimmy, jama, jama, jama. And then they're like, ooh. And then the woman is not satisfied. The woman does not shout their name, GSW. Oh boy. Sorry, oh. It is because they are that's why they are looking for this thing up and down. They don't know how to have sex. If you really learn how to have sex, if you learn it as a man, your wife will be satisfied. And you would, it would be so good that you would not be thinking that there's any other pleasure to give somebody else out there. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. You know, if a man learn how to be a man, if you slept with your wife, no other man in this world will be able to satisfy her after you. That's the truth. She will know it. She will look at it and say, okay, what well can this man dig? What is even left of the well that this one will dig that my husband has not dug? You know? But when the wife is also not satisfied because you are doing 3 minutes, 5 minutes sex, then she'll be like, he's not digging the well properly. It's not my body, and it will step off, it will slip off. I'm frustrated. Then you will see the woman then cheats. And when you talk to the woman, she will say, the sex is nothing to write home about. And it is not because the man is not viral. Some people, they will go buy all this stuff. See, your body is so programmed that if you know how to work with it and your mind, sex, some people have sex in body alone. They do not understand the mindfulness of sex. Like I told you, I was taught in the Catholic Church in 2009 that the mind, the mental balance and the mind are also part of a physiological programming so that it will help you do well when you sleep with your wife. So some people, they see a girl like this, they are already they are spilling their seed. Like they just see a girl like this. The thing will just be pouring down. It shows that there's a big disconnect between your mind and your body. Your mind is not controlling your body the way it should. And if you leave the body alone to control itself, the body is the weakest part of the human anatomy. The body is the weakest. Without the mind, the body will just drop dead. Which is why when somebody dies, you will see the body, the mind is gone. So you must teach your mind as a husband and as a wife. You must teach your mind how to lay hold of your body and give its best. And I switch now to the women, to the wives. If you are frigid, you don't sex is not for me. Sex is not good for me. I don't enjoy sex. What? And you are crying. You know, I have a sister, I know she's on this call. And she told me, I don't enjoy sex. I've never enjoyed sex. I said, so why do you want to marry? Then she said, do I not have a right to have a husband and children? I was thinking, she's not getting my question. The thing you are supposed to deal with, you didn't deal with it. You don't like sex, but you want a husband and children. How would you do that? You need to look at it. How would you do that? Because your husband surely will know you are not enjoying the sex. And as a result of that, it will make him feel less of a man. And he will have to sleep with somebody else. I told you, it is a psychological build-up, a mental thing for men. It is nothing to do, it's not about the drilling in and out, in and out. That is not it. That is not the issue. For men, to see a woman pulsate after sex, to see her when you are done sleeping with her, to see her wriggling, writing on the bed, rolling, to see the effect that you had on her gives you the kind of a satisfaction that nobody can describe. And then to see the woman just like nothing. Is that it? Then the man would think, is it me? Is it her? And then the man would think, maybe if I sleep with somebody else, because maybe she has a problem. Then the man begins to hunt for somebody else to sleep with. So as a woman, you must, as a wife, you must train your mind to like sex with your husband. Not to be one of those that will be giving excuses. Again, it is always in Christendom that I see all these things. We will insist that people should not have sex before marriage, which is proper. And then marriage will come, and then the woman will still be will still be unable to open up to her own husband and have sex properly because of religious thinking, religious indoctrination, the way they program the mind to hate the very thing that is supposed to sustain our home. If you have sexual issues as a wife, find a solution to it. I'm not kidding. I told you. These things, when we don't learn them, we move on in ignorance and then we claim victim later. I do not say how to have sex is a gift from heaven. It is a teachable skill. It's a teachable skill. When I was much younger, maybe I think I was 16 or 17, there was this woman in our neighborhood, Mrs. Bello. She's a nurse. And then she worked with the family planning department of UTH for several years as a matron. She has several children, and we are all neighbors. And then one of her daughters was my friend. I really liked the girl. And I was 17, she was maybe 16. So I would go to their clinic in Basho. Whenever I was coming from Loyola College, and she was attending Methodist Sojourn, I would go there. I would just go there just to see her face. And then I would go home. And this woman noticed that I wasn't coming because of Samuel. So the joy has a brother called Samuel. The woman noticed that every time I come around, I will talk with Samuel for a while, and then I'll be waiting for the opportunity for her to stand up or for the brother to go do something, and then I would then go sit with Joy. I would start talking. So the woman noticed that, hey, this boy likes my daughter. Then one day I got there, the woman just put out a whiteboard with a marker and she wrote, sit down, both of you. I told the other children to also sit. And she said, I want to teach you all everything about reproductive reality. I don't want my daughter getting pregnant. Now I was 17. I was like, wow. And then she began to teach on how to protect yourself from getting pregnant. She you know how they were trained. She wasn't shy about it. She was very blunt. And she taught and taught and taught and taught and taught. And then she got to certain methods and she mentioned the Billings method, withdrawal method. She mentioned all these things. I was 17. I soaked it in. It was as if I was having a lecture. It is not good to go into territories unlearned and untaught. A lot of men marry without being taught anything about sex. A lot of women get married without being, they say they want to do marriage counseling in church. And then you get to church and then they just say, hey, yeah, you figure it out. No, no. I mean, there's one thing I give to the Catholic Church. They were thorough. It was a 6 months course. 6 months, 6 months course for marriage preparation. 6 months. At the end of 6 months, I did a project to marry wife. I wrote a project that I bound with this perforated blue binder that the effect of divorcing I to marry wife. But in that teaching, they were thorough. So a lot of men do not know how to satisfy their wife, and a lot of women do not know how to satisfy their husband. Everybody makes a lot of mouth. But this thing is a matter to be addressed. It has to be taught. If you really are married and you're a woman and you love your husband, you will sleep with him well. And you will not just lay down there and open leg. That's not it. You will sleep with him. He will see that you are bearing your soul. And he also will bear his soul. Now, when you make love like that, you will see how difficult it will be for you to want to sleep with somebody else. I'm not kidding. You see, sex is a physical thing. Love making is a soulish matter. So there is no other person that wants to sleep with your wife that your wife will be that open with, which is why some wives, they are married because the husband cannot have proper sex. They will then have somebody they are sleeping with who they will love. They will not be loving. There's a case I handled recently of a woman that was sleeping with a young man, and she's a prophetess. She has a husband, and the husband brought the case to me. And she told the husband she would rather leave that marriage and go with the young man than stay with him. And of course, because it's an African thing, they said, oh, it is a spiritual attack. I was looking at him. It's not a spiritual attack. It is speaking to this woman's the young man's sexual ability. When a woman finds a man who can sleep with her properly, that will give her satisfaction, she doesn't want to let him go. Because it is a difficult thing to be married and to be in a sexually frustrated relationship with your husband, so that you are going to be with this man for 40 years and you are not sexually satisfied at all for 40 years. You to look at it. It's like eternal torture. That somebody is sharing your bed, but you would have sex, you would release and slip off, and the person will still be hanging. And this is happening over and over and over and over and over again. And so the person will then begin to become disillusioned about sex, lose interest in sex, does not want to have sex again. While when they ask you as a man, they say, did you fire? I say, I fire. What happens to what did you fire? Your wife should be the one that is telling the whole world, not with her mouth, with the way she would, the radiance, the glow. People should see, they say, madam, that did Daddy did wonders yesterday. She just blushed because there's this glow that comes with sexual satisfaction that women carry. And so I'm talking to the men on the call. Please do better when it comes to sleeping with your own wives. Do better. Do better. Go all out with the aim of satisfying. Please. You have to take ego out of the way. It is not about you. It's about your marriage. If you want your marriage to be healthy, you must because if you sleep with her and you don't satisfy her and she's frustrated, then she goes into a world full of all forms of temptations. Even though she didn't know what the next guy will serve, she's not sure. She's like, all these people just do guinea corn. If she should meet somebody that could really serve it, then you and I will now be content. In the house, will handle the case. The wife was telling the husband, I'm not going to leave him, and I'm not going to leave my marriage. I said, well, you want to marry two husbands? He said, I'm staying in my marriage, and I'm not leaving this guy. I said, sit down. What's the problem? It was the sex. When I asked the husband said he was performing well before, but then he got into some financial difficulty. And as a result of that, he couldn't perform well sexually anymore. And the financial difficulty did not last 3 months, did not last 4 months, did not last 1 year, 2 years, it's going to 4 years. And so you have a young wife who is sexually frustrated in your house, and you are not able to sleep with her. And then she one day goes to one alumni meeting of her school, and she met this person, and this person was talking with some other people, and they were saying that hey, when we were in school, this guy chairman, those who have slept with the guy before, they were talking, and she heard that this guy, hey, horse, 72 horsepower. She was the one that went after the guy by herself. When I was reading Mario Puzo's The Godfather, one of the things they said about many of you may not have read it, but there's a character in it called Sonny, the son of the Godfather, the first son of the Godfather, hot-headed guy. They said women were cooking and women were talking among themselves. They were just talking, just female gossip. And one of them said, look at the Don's first son. And the other one said, have you slept with him? Said, no. Said, I have slept with him. That day, when he was done with me, my mind was singing wonders. And there was a young lady there, who overheard that conversation. She just overheard it. And she had an issue with her vagina. She had sex before, but the men would always laugh at her. They would tell her that she has a well for a vagina. She has a well for a vulva. She has a well that no man could satisfy. Nobody could feel anything when they sleep with her. So when she heard them talking about this guy, and they were saying that, the instrument of magic. Hey, do you know what she did? She followed Sonny. She followed him. She was following him up the stairs. When he left, he was following. The man was married with children. She was following him. She followed him until he entered into one room. Then she went to knock on the door. When the man opened the door, she just entered the room and closed the door. The man said, what are you doing here? She just started taking off her clothes. I kid you not. Why? Because to be sexually frustrated is hell on earth. And I have to say that to all the men on the call. Don't frustrate your wife sexually. Sleep with your own wife. In fact, enjoy the wife of your youth. Sleep with her, sleep with her, sleep with her, sleep with her. And when you sleep with her properly, if you have to sit down and learn, sit down and learn. I'm not kidding. Don't go and be buying all this. They are buying augmentation drug. It will kill you young. It is your body and your mind. If you are taught well, you'll be able to sleep with your wife properly. You will be patient enough to let the first wave of erection go, and then to allow the second wave to stay, and then by that time you would be confident enough to know the spots to hit. You will do well, and when you do it properly, your wife will just be purring like a cat. I mean, you would even imagine that she would cheat. I'm not kidding. If they tell you somebody cheating, you say, for what? What's she looking for? But if you are not sleeping with your wife properly, you have leaving the room or the door open for extramarital relationship on our side. Because what women want out of sex and what men want out of sex are two different things. And so you have to understand. So when they say, when I hear husband saying, my wife cheated, I bought her land in Asokoro, I bought a house in Johannesburg, I even bought a ship, I bought a jet, and yes, she cheated. And then you realize that, okay, people now say, what does a woman want? It's funny to me why people always think that the sexual aspect of a woman's life is not important. Just be buying her stuff. That's what is important. No. Just the way men feel a deep craving for sex in the pit of their belly. That same way, women feel a deep craving for sex. It is internal, it is in their system. Now, if a man is what we call catching agro, is looking to have sex, right? And you give him a contract, he will say thank you. But that does not stop him from desiring to have sex. You see now? If you give him a yacht, he will collect it, he will still want to have sex. Give him a duplex, he will collect it, he still wants to have sex. If you give him a Rolls Royce, he will collect it, he will still want to have sex. Because all those things will not satisfy the craving for sex. Exactly the same way with women. So men would then buy women stuff, and then they will say, why did she cheat? The one thing that is important for you to give her, make sure she is sexually satisfied. If you have to learn it, learn it. I mean it. And do not watch porn. Don't watch pornography and don't masturbate. It is not good for you. I'm talking to the men. Pornography is bad for you. It makes you, you go and read. I've read studies upon studies about it. Many people think if they watch pornography, they will get hurt. No, it kills the part of your brain, that dopamine producing part of your brain that is supposed to be stimulated when you see your wife. When you watch pornography over and over and over again, that thing is like when you are drinking Coke over and over and over again, at the point you get to a saturation point where you don't feel like drinking Coke again. So when you watch pornography over and over again, you'll be getting erection. Eventually, your wife will then stop stimulating you because your brain is no longer seeing it as new, as fresh, as different. But when you don't watch such things, you go to work, you live your life, you eat healthy. When your wife begins to take off her clothes, you will see your body steering by itself without help. I mean that. And so stop watching things like that. It's not good for you, especially the men. Stop pornography, all those things. You don't need them. All right. In this, I've answered several questions relating to sex so that I will not have to be picking them one by one. If I do it the way I should do it. Now I'll move to financial issues in marriage. Remember that I said that there is a BC class, D class, all of them come with a mentality. I've been poor and married. I've also been rich and married. So I know how it is when you are poor and married. I also know how it is when you are blessed, wealthy, and married. When you are poor and married, there is a constant problem at the back of your mind regarding needs, how to meet needs as a man. if you are a responsible man, and most men would, if you are married, you are always thinking of money, how to feed your family, how to fuel the car, the children's school fees, the rent, our family obligations. Financial obligation is so overwhelming when you are poor and married. Your wife also is also in this place. So when you are making your decision based on where you are starting out from, because at that time you are likely to be very young as a couple, don't be one of those guys who would then say, I don't want my wife to work. I want to be the only one. You are making a decision that will keep you in bondage for life. Your wife must work at that level. However, if you're a trust fund baby, you inherited a lot of money from your father. In fact, when you are getting married, they've given you a duplex free of charge. They've paid your bills up front for a year. You can afford to say to your wife, okay, babe, don't work. Now, a wife that is not working will keep herself busy with house chores and all that, going to the market, cooking, and she will be 100% responsible for the home. So that when they are talking about, my husband cannot be, my attached with 50-50, it is not your business. They are not talking to somebody like you. Somebody asked me one day, said, well, do you wash plates with your wife? I said, why should I? And person was like, well, I wash plates with my wife. I said, yes, it is where you are. It is where I am. We don't belong. You and I may be standing side by side, maybe shaking hand and talking. We don't belong to the same class. That's the truth. I have gone beyond that level. I'm busy all day. I'm working, and so I get home. I eat my food. I play with my wife. My wife has taken care of all the things in the kitchen. That is the structure now. But that was not the structure in the past. In the past, when I was not this blessed, of course I wash dishes and I cook and I go to the market. What do you mean? Because where you are is will determine your action. So making decisions, looking at somebody and say, my mother was a full housewife. Therefore, my wife must be a full housewife. When you are earning very little money, is not a wise way to make your decisions. So you must balance this thing. As God will bless you, you can then eventually your wife can be like, okay, I'm not, or you can say, okay, we can now afford to have a chef. I remember when I was working in Magodo, one of our members, his wife traveled abroad. So somebody now teased him, and the person said, how have you not been coping? The other person answered him, you're asking this man how he's coping. Do you know how many chefs he has? I said to myself at that time, God, somebody has a chef at home. I will get there. So imagine that at that time, I now say I want to hire a chef. I was earning 60,000. How much did I pay the chef? So I have to cook for myself now. I have to cook, I have to do school runs. Like I have to do all those things. At that level of my life, that is what it takes. So that's how you adapt. You must not be somebody that is hung on principles and idealism. You must be a pragmatic person. This is what works for us now. So work. Now, to the second point, and I'm coming again on finances. I've seen a trend in which women, ladies who are working, they leave the house, they go to work, they earn money, and then they say their salary is their money. Haba. You do not understand. You don't understand marriage. They expect their husband to go to work and provide for all the things that they need in that house. They then work and they keep the money. And then they say, we are married, is the provider. No. you are not being fair. If you are not working, you are the one taking care of all the house chores, and he is working, is providing, that's understandable. As long as both of you are working, it means you cannot say, I have my money and he has his money. It is both your money now. At this level, it is both your money. So, both your money. So, what I usually tell couples, because again, when you give the man a lot of financial pressure, and you then end up, so what I notice is the money for the women will now go to our family. She will now be using, say, I gave my mommy 25,000. I gave my daddy 25,000. I bought them freezer. I bought them TV. I helped them to repair their window. So all the money she's earning, she'll be spending it on our own parents and our family. Meanwhile, this man, who she has delegated the job of caring for the whole house for, couldn't even afford to give his own mother and father money because he has responsibility to take care of his wife and children. That's not fair. That is not how it should be. If both of you are working, whatever you earn is 100% for your family. You decide together what to give your parents. You decide together what to set aside for this. You decide. You must. It is the only way that the husband would not feel as if he's being used or taken advantage of. And when I hear men, when they are talking about their wife and they're like, what does she want? I do this, 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 I do this. And then it will seem as if what the wife is doing is irrelevant. The wife will now say, you are talking as if I don't do anything. Say, what do you do? What do you do? The reason for that is because of the disparity in provision. Both of you are working, therefore, both of you must come together and make sure that it is not another family that is benefiting of you, while your own family is a burden on your husband. It is not right. It is not fair. It does not help you. It does not help your marriage. So if both of you are working 100%, your finances are together. 100%. Your finances are together. And you then decide, what are we saving? So I tell some couple, husband or wife, your own salary, 100%, save it. Both of you should live on your husband's salary. Save it in a joint account. Both of you are looking at it. If you're earning 300,000 a month, don't touch it. 100% save that one. Then both of you live on the salary of the other. When the end of the year comes, you want to pay rent. This one that you have saved, the bulk money, pay rent out of it. The rest, buy a car out of it. It is your car. It is so that it will not seem as if the person, so women will say, I take care of the feeding. I buy food for the house. And men will laugh as if food is cheap. No, food is not cheap. If she spends 50K a day on food every day, or 20K or 30K, calculate it, you will see how much she has spent. But because we always consume the food, we then assume that she's doing nothing because you bought the car. No. That's why it is important that you find an arrangement that works. Now, if you and your wife operate a joint account system, be faithful in your word to keep to this. If both of you open a joint account, don't let her be the only one putting money in the joint account when you then put money in another account. No. It's that you don't keep a joint account. Either way is your choice. If you decide that, we want to do a joint account, be faithful to keep the joint account. It helps you. But if you want to keep separate accounts, it's also fine. There's no crime in it. But make sure that your wife does not feel as if she's the only one that is faithful in the agreement you made, and that you have been doing your own thing while she is complying with what you agreed. That thing brings dissatisfaction. It's not even fair. That both of us agree that we will put money in our housing projects. We want to buy a house. We have a house to buy for 2027. We are saving towards it. So we agree that we'll be putting 200,000 naira each in that account, so that when it's time to buy the house, we can buy. And then I put it there first month. My wife does not. I put it there second month. My wife does not. I put it there third month. Meanwhile, that account is joint account, which means my wife can withdraw money from it, but she's not putting money there. what do you think I will feel like? I will feel as if she can have access to this money, but she has not contributed to it. So the next thing for me is either to stop putting money there or to just withdraw my money out of that account and use it, let it be dormant. Do not let your marriage come to those kind of places. Don't let it. It is not. It is not. It is wrong of anyone to allow that kind of thinking as believers. Now, anger and resentment. Somebody sent in this question. I've been answering questions. I just not been reading the questions out because it will delay my thought process. So yes, in relationships and friendships, all forms of emotions accumulate. Sometimes a partner will hurt you so much. To forgive that partner will be hell. I'm not kidding. Sometimes a partner will hurt you so much, you will cry for several days. And at the end of the day, the wound will be so deep, you won't be able to let it go. Sometimes. And one of the things that resentment does is that the person that you normally see and your heart will be rejoicing, you don't notice that when you see them, you are angry. You know, like it's like that joy just converts to anger. And every time you see this person, you are just angry. It's your husband. But when he speaks, you don't trust his word anymore. When he touches you, you move your body away. If he says anything, if he's talking and he mentions your name, you're like, why are you mentioning my name? Why? You know, but you are in the same space, but you are just in the wrong emotional cloud when it comes to this person. And usually, when somebody does this to you, it is as a result of something they did that that you paid for or that cost you a lot. Could cost you your job, could cost you your savings. Some men that are involved in certain habits, when the thing boomerangs, and it always does, like cheating, like gambling, like getting into businesses with 419, their wife will tell them, don't do this. They say, no, it's Forex. I must do it. I want to make money quick. Then they will carry all the money, go do Forex, and then the money will disappear. And the wife will cry because she warned them. She was like, don't do this thing, don't do this thing, don't do this thing. But they will not listen. But when the repercussion then comes for the action, everybody bears the brunt of the repercussion. Everybody. So the wife, of course, because she's hot, and the men, of course, what can you do? Than say sorry. Now, sorry is not enough. You can't stab me. Like stab me in such a way that my heart is shattered. And then you stand there, you say, Mabi, no, sorry, do. Pele. Oh boy. I know all of us are guilty of this. I try not to hurt my wife. That's the truth. I try hard. I don't like begging. I don't like begging. So I try hard not to. I try to think of it very well before I was like, I remember one day, um, myself and my wife just came back from a trip, an international trip. And then my wife came to my room. So when I say my room, where I meditate and pray, and she was like, I want to ask you a question. I said, what? He said, I know you spent a lot of money. I know you spent a lot of money on this trip. I just want to know if we will not be broke very soon. I couldn't believe it. Why are you laughing? Go away. I was like, wow. So I then told her to come and sit down. For the first time, then I opened my bank app and then I said she should look at the account balance. You know, I didn't do that before, but when I could see the concern, she was thinking that, hey, do you have hey, so that I didn't say, oh, okay, I understand the concern. So I said, oh, sit down. Yeah, look, look. Is your mind, are you okay now? Is your mind at rest? She then said yes. I then said, ah, beyond this, I've also resolved that I'm going to save more in the coming days. So I'm not just relenting on my investment or my savings. I'm also going to save more on the coming days. And then in the coming days, every time I would do a business or do an investment or do anything and it will bring good money, I will call her. I will say, come and see. How much did I show you before? She will say, so amount. I say, come and see. She will say, wow. I'll say, can you see it has increased? Yes. Then again, another win. I'll say, come and see. What I was trying to do there was to build up her confidence in such a way that she will not be worried about such things. She will not be worried about such things at all. It's my duty to make sure that in her mental space, in my emotional space, psychologically, that my wife is not nursing some thoughts. Like if she didn't come to tell me that day, she would sit down and she'll be thinking, and the devil likes such spaces to get into and begin to say, oh no, I didn't want that at all. So again, you have to be clarity. This is so that your wife does not begin to think, and then the devil will now tell her, come and eat the fruit of this tree. Did God say you will die? No, no, no. If you didn't leave space for such thinking, you will not leave space for any action that will come afterwards. So you have to learn how to be open. And so if there is anger in you, there is resentment, and there is any form of negative uh, feelings towards your man or your husband, I'm begging you, call him. One of the things, it may not be immediate. So I've also learned that sometimes people will hurt you, and it may take some weeks before you will feel the pain will lift. Sometimes it will take several months, sometimes it will take a year, and you are born again. It's not as if you are not holding a grudge, but you are just so hot. You're just so hot. Just so hot. And because you are so hot, you then take decisions so that you will not be hot again. You're like, the way this guy hurts me, I'm never going to disclose my finances, my financial status to him again. If he ever asks me for money, I'll tell him no. I'm not releasing the car key. I'm not helping him to fuel the car. I'm never in my life going to join him to pay rent again. I've learned my lesson. I will never in my life, trust his word. Because you are hot, you will then make very extreme decisions to protect yourself. Very extreme decisions to protect yourself. You say, no, I've shut the door to all that. We are married, but I now know that this man does not have my interest at heart. So let me protect myself. And as a result of all the defenses you built, you will notice that your marriage will now lose its flavor. It is action and reaction. He caused it. That's the truth. He, or she caused it. He initiated the pain or she initiated the pain, and you reacted to the pain, and that is natural. But after a while, it becomes a burden. You notice that you are not happy with the way your marriage is going. You notice that there is no joy in your heart. You notice that when you pray, there is no freedom in the place of prayer. That is the sign that you are healing, that God is telling you, come on, ease yourself of this pain, ease yourself of this burden. Ease yourself of this burden. Free yourself of these shackles. Free yourself of these shackles. And when you notice that, don't resist it. Then that is the moment to then call your husband and say, you know what happened last year, December? That deal that you did, that you put all our investments, that we lost all the money. I was very hot, even though I told you not to do it, you did it. It hurt me. And as a result of that, I made several decisions. But I can see that you have changed since then. You are no longer lying. You are now forthright. You are telling the truth. You have made your way better. So, okay, now I want to tell you that I've let it go. I love you. And then you hug your husband and you make sweet love afterward. It is very important to make that sweet love. It is called, people call it makeup sex, but it is not really makeup sex. It is expelling the bad energy sex, the kind of sex that will expel all the bad energy. It's just like, all the bad energy will just go away. And then after that, you begin to see your husband in a new light again. It is very important. Somebody asked what could lead to divorce. I think I've answered that in several ways. On this call. So your relationship, there's no general answer. A couple that is living, one in Nigeria, one in America for 7 years, 8 years, on grounds of desertion, they're already open to divorce. Somebody is married and then goes abroad looking for paper, marry somebody else, and then there are so many ways. However, we do not want divorce in our marriage. We do not want to have divorces. We want to correct the foundations. Psalm 82 said that we have a right. We have the right to set the courses straight and to make sure that the foundations are rebuilt in such a way that they cannot produce good things. So that is what we aim to do. However, remember what I said, divorce is not off the table. If you have an abusive husband who is beating you, or a wife that is going to kill you, or you, in such relationships, the two of you shouldn't be together. If you are here, you are listening to me, you are a victim of slapping and beating and flogging, either you are male or female, you are the man or the woman. I had a brother, a Christian brother, so that people will know he's a Christian brother in church. This young man married a beautiful girl. The girl is so fine. The girl also has a master's. He has secondary school living certificate. So he stopped schooling after secondary school and then married somebody that had MSc. In his head, he knew that this girl was way better than him. It's like he knew that he was so lucky to have married somebody like that. So he had a conflict in his head, and I knew it. He had a conflict in his head. He had this fear in his mind that somebody better will come and snatch this girl from her. The girl did not do anything to make him think like that. It is as a result of the disparity. When you are too lucky, you cannot believe you can be that lucky. Like, how can he who trained as a cobbler and then got lucky with the church youth team, became the leader of the youth team, got some money, some contracts from the church, whatever, and was able to rent a 2-bedroom flat and was able to wear fine clothes. But essentially, what he does is he cobbles, he repairs shoes. And then he found himself married to an MSc holder. The girl was working in a bank, was doing well. So this guy, every slight opportunity, he would abuse this girl, would beat her up, would slap her. The girl told me that one day he was sleeping with her, that they were having sex. She was standing in front of him, he was behind her. They were having sex while they were standing. And while he was having sex with her in that posture, he took iron that they were using to press clothes and he was hitting her head with it. I was like, somebody is sleeping with you and at the same time killing you. Hey. And it was as a result of the inferiority complex of that brother. You see? Because he just knew that the girl would leave. So he wanted to leave a mark. He wanted to, it's as a result of inferiority complex. It wasn't anything else. And when I said, no, no, no. It is because you two are not meant to be together. Who are the one that did the counseling for your marriage? You shouldn't marry to this guy. It's like the disparity between your classes was so great that you shouldn't marry to this guy. Who paired you? How did you meet? Said you met in the church singles fellowship. I said, Auntie, you are a little bit dumb. How can you how can you this guy is meant to marry somebody that's hawking bread? And I'm not kidding. Somebody that's not as educated as he, who they belong in the same world. You don't belong in this guy's world. You don't. There's nothing anybody can do about it. That ship has sailed. It's either he kills you until he's satisfied, or you leave. Oh, she said, oh, I will stay, I will stay. The next time I would see her, she was in the hospital. He had broken one of her hands, broken the hand. I had to go get soldiers. I called Pastor Femi of SLE, give me two of your soldiers. I got whatever. I went to arrest him, locked him up. Then I went to carry the girls, everything that belongs to the lady, carried it, got accommodation for her, and put her in another house. And when the parents came to me, I said, they don't belong in the same class. They shouldn't be together. They have no business together. This is not a question of we have done church vow. We have just shut your mouth. You are bad parents. You shouldn't allow your your daughter to marry this kind of a guy. Like there was no way the guy would not be inferior all his life. And guys, men don't want to be inferior in their own home. So everything to put her on that he was doing it. And she was just superior to him effortlessly. You see the problem? She was effortlessly superior. She speaks better, she walks better, she acts better, she earns better, everything is better. And then you now went to marry somebody that is always feeling intimidated by your progress. So they got divorced. I just saying that so that all these people that thought that because you have made a vow in church, okay, if you are going to kill somebody's daughter or somebody's daughter is going to kill you, you are not really married. We would do something about it. We will be happily divorced and we will move on to a better life. The sister has been married now. Glory to God, she's living in the UK. The brother is still in Lagos. He wrote to me recently that I should help him find a wife. Uh, said that I'm not going to give you somebody you will kill. Go to your village. Go and get a wife from there. Okay, so premarital sex. People wrote a lot to me about premarital sex. It seems that the relationship pool of nowadays, unless we are going to lie to one another, the majority of those who are single are committed to having sex before marriage. It seems all the sermons of the churches and it didn't work. And so I've seen about 4 or 5 questions about it. Married before, we shouldn't be married, but the person I met, I'm sleeping with this, I'm sleeping with that, I feel guilty. But so I've seen the questions. Okay. I'm going to say this because I know some people want to stone me now. But it is your stone, and I'm made of grace. So that's your problem. I'm going to say to you that the perfect way to go about marriage is to do it in such a manner that you guys do not have sex before marriage. That's the perfect. However, if you both of you desire to sleep with each other before marriage for one reason or the other, it has to be that both of you are in a relationship where the commitment is so strong that you know you are heading for the altar. I mean, both of you, you know, there is no iota of doubt. This is not because nowadays people meet on Monday and they sleep with each other on Monday. American liberalism and the strength of the Western world on everything that it has touched since it began the colonialism drive ensured that if they start any movement in America, it will move to England, and from England, it will sweep all over the Western Hemisphere, and then it will come to Africa. I mean, everything that they have ever decided in the School of Human Behavior and Sociology in Harvard, and Yale and Oxford, when those people, when they decide that they are going to make us begin to understand LGBTQ. That's what we did. When they said they are going to put this thing, anything they decide, they basically, when they were doing the feminism move, everybody caught in the wave. These things have been, there are schools in America where they teach, where they postulate, where they come together and decide the course of human behavior, and then they teach it to their students, and then the students begin to practice it, and then it spread like fire, and then it gets to Nigeria. It's as simple as that. It was American liberalism that awoke the West and Africa to the consciousness of the freedom that sex brings to the female, not the male. They realized that men controlled who sleeps with who, when who can sleep with who, how who can sleep with who. They realized that men controlled the field of sexuality, and by so doing, they controlled women. They realized it. So when you look at the Bible, you will see there from the book of Deuteronomy how Moses was talking about who can sleep with who can be with who. Your father, you cannot sleep with this person. Your father must be in the know for this person. If this person sleeps with somebody, they must kill him. If they sleep with one. So it was decided by Moses, and that informed the Western policies of old. And this new crop of Western liberal-minded people decided that they don't want patriarchy anymore. And as a result of that, they evolved policies that would unseat patriarchy. And one of those policies, one of them is my body, my choice. My body, my choice. You cannot determine who I sleep with. I can sleep with anybody I like. I have birth control pills, abortion movement, and all that. And so when we see it in Africa, many of us, because we do not have the depth of where these things come from, we begin to kick against the gods. We are not the one that started the policy. And we, as Christian bodies, we don't have a policy-driven place. All we do is just gather together and say we are forming one association to go and pray. That's what we do. We do not, God has helped me. We will get there. We are going to have our policy think tank as Christians, where we also will evolve behavioral pattern, and we will begin to push it out to society. So they have it in the West. And so it has become a thing now. Sex is no longer something to be ashamed of. Either you have it at the age of 17 or 16 or 20. I remember one day I was having a conversation with a young lady at the Polytechnic Ibadan. The girl maybe like 19. We were playing a game of Scrabble. Myself and one guy. I used to go to the sports center and we'll play. They are very good players, and I also play very well. So I used to play with them to sharpen my skills. And then this girl came, and she came to call one of the Scrabble players that she wants to see him. And I was playing with the guy, so I was like, wait until we finish the game. And then she said, oh, what you want to discuss is very important. It's more important than your game. I want to see him. So then he called her. She called him out. They spoke for a minute or two. Then the guy came back and the guy was laughing. And I looked at the guy's face and I knew that the girl must have positioned him, she must have said something about finish your game, let's go, or something. So I turned to the girl, I said, where are you taking him? And the girl looked at me and the girl said, I want to sleep with him. That's the truth. And I've told him that that's why I've been waiting. He should let us go. And she said it so brazenly. Like Just like that. Like in the open, not in the university campus, in the polytechnic campus. Just said it like that. She wasn't shouting, but the guy heard it, I heard it. Both of us laughed. And then the guy said, the girls of nowadays are so bold. And the girl said in reply, she said, if I've not started having sex, my mother should be worried. She said it in Yoruba language, that if I've not started having sex, my mother should be worried. And that was at that point I realized that this ship has sailed. We can do all the religion we want. People have formed their opinion of reality. The perfect is that you should, as a couple, wait until you are married. That is the perfect. The unacceptable is that you jump into bed with every Jack, Tom, Dick, and Harry. It drives people crazy. See, I'm telling you, I know for a fact, you will lose the essence of self if you begin to sleep with many people. It gives you depression. It makes you lose a sense of balance of life. It makes you lose a sense of self. It is the problem it creates. Some of you may not see it, but you can read. I am a reader. I read a lot, and I read current stuff. I don't just speak English. There was this girl that slept with 100 guys in one day. The story trended on social media. When they were interviewing her after, she was crying. It will make you feel displaced. She wanted to break a world record. They were pushing that experiment, those experiments, to display to the world that people are now sexually free. You can no longer hold on bound. You cannot, but it creates a psychological problem, the likes of which drugs cannot cure. To see yourself waking up in stranger's bed, not to be able to say the name of the person you slept with yesterday, you know. I started hearing about one night stand around 1999, that somebody would say, I just went to a bar and I picked up a guy and I slept with him. And then I picked up a, although they must have been doing it long before them, but I started hearing about it and I was wondering, how does that work? You wake up in the, yeah, in the afternoon like this, you just stand up, you go to a place and you pick up a person, you sleep with the person leave. You don't even know the person's name. That is hell on earth. Not only about all the dangers, serial killers, and diseases that are involved, but psychologically for you, it will drive you nuts. So you cannot go down that route. When you're in a committed relationship where both of you, parents have known each other, we are getting married, all the year, unless you do church vow, that's a lie. Don't forget about all those ones. There is nothing. God does not curse anybody. I'm telling you the truth. I say it with all my chest. All those things are lie. Today, unless you do your white wedding, God is a lie. That's those are rubbish that should be discarded absolutely. Marriage is between two people. The Bible says that the man shall leave and cleave to his wife. That's all. It didn't say pastor must join or bishop must join. The man and the woman. When they brought Rebecca to Isaac, the two of them saw each other and she went to console him. That end of story. But there was a discussion between both parents. Somebody sent this man, Eliezer, to go discuss with Laban, and then they brought the wife. So when there is a sure, okay, that's fine. And some of you I know will still find it difficult to take my position. Thinking that my position is not position of God. That's your problem. My position is the position of God. That's also my assertion on the issue. Don't sleep around. It's not good for your health. It is not good for your health. It has nothing to do with the law, it has nothing to do with hell or death or destruction or just you come back and you'll not be rapturable. All those things are rubbish. Don't listen to that. Those ones. It's not true. But for your own mental health, don't sleep around. Make sure that the person you are with, that you love the person, not just carried away by attention or no. that you love the person, that you have gained ground, you are established with this person. Established. Like both of you have a communication, you have a good routine, you are into each other really. And then that the person is not just somebody that is, trying to get laid. Because there are some men, they will do everything just to sleep with you and then they will disappear. That's not good. So don't be foolish enough to be one of those kind of girls that somebody will sleep with and disappear. No, no, no. And don't be foolish enough to be that kind of guy that the girl that they call cock teasers, that will just be collecting your money and don't be like that. Genuine relationships do not lead to this kind of questions. It is always the abstract relationships that are not so genuine that lead down this rabbit hole. So it is important that you note that. Now, somebody is asking a question: how do you help your wife to grow or your husband to grow so that both of you are together? Remember, I started when I answered this question earlier, and I said, hey, there's a myth that goes on in the church about spirituality. You will see pastors saying that they want their wife to dress like, and then their wife should grow and match them spiritually, so that when they fast 150 days, she will fast 130 days. That is a spiritual level. And the people say a lot of things. And then they forget that their wife is not their student. She's a person. Being a person means if your leadership is good, producing results, you don't have to disturb your wife. I don't disturb my wife. You will never see me telling my wife, hey, I start to pray. Go and speak me. Hey, my wife will say, my husband, you can support somebody. Why? My leadership is top notch. I produce results consistently. You will want to be like me. I don't have to use my mouth to say it. One day when I saw my wife walking in the compound, praying in tongues, by herself, I was looking at her from the window of the room. I woke up, I opened the window. I saw somebody walking up and down. So I was like, who is in my compound? Then I opened the window and I saw her. She was walking up and down. She was speaking in tongues. I just went back to bed. I said, oh boy. Oh boy. We have entered spirit today. And then I relaxed. And then she did it again the second day. She did it again the third day. And then she began to tell me, oh, I saw this vision. I saw this vision. My leadership is good. I can see it anywhere. But I do not force anybody to do anything. I cannot use my word to belittle my wife and say, your mates are praying. You are here watching. Never. If your leadership is good, your wife will follow you. Are you a pastor? Are you a church leader? Is there a level you want your wife to go? Lead by example. Lead well. Your result will lead your wife to say, I also want to. I will open this account. I want to open this account. Okay. Come and teach you which app did you call it? Which app did you call it? I want to download it. You will not be saying download this app. No. I'm saving. Your results. You will make your wife to say, I'm putting money together. I'm putting money together. When we get to London, I'm going to shop. Because your leadership, it's about your leadership. My wife is laughing. Everything I told you happened as they happened. It is truth. It is the truth. Your leadership is so good that you are leading without any form of coercion. You are not saying, hey, I want you to have gotten to this level. No. I will never be like that. I hate being led like that. I mean, if you know how rebellious I am by nature, when people leave me alone, I thrive. When you try to force me to do anything, I will resist. Even if that thing is the best thing for my life, I will not do it. And that's me. It is not the devil. It is my nature. Since I was young, I do not like imposition. I do not like anybody telling me, if you will make the mistake of your life, pick your phone and call me and tell me, so JSW, this is what you must do. That thing will never be done. I mean, never. Even if it's the best thing in the world, you will never open your mouth and instruct me on what to do. You are not my father. You are not. I do not recognize your authority. That's me. And I'm talking about my father and mother. I do not recognize the authority to instruct me on this is how you must live your life. This is what you must study. I will never do it. That's my nature. So when I recognize my own nature, like I told you, I do not speak. I know me. I say, Jesus, you don't like people telling you what to do. You like coming to your conclusions by yourself. Therefore, why would I do that to other people? Just imagine, why would I want to then do that to other people? Either the person is my wife or even my children. I don't do the same thing with my children. And they will never be, I believe so much in their agency. So I will give them all the things they need. I will give them counsel, but I will not say, sit down there. I'm never like that. And God is not like that with me. So don't try to treat your wife as if your wife does not have an agency of her own or a brain of her own to think and to make decisions. Lead well. When you lead well and your result speaks, when you lead well and your result speaks, your wife will begin to copy you. You know, my wife will say to me, before I met you, I used to sleep a lot. Now, you don't sleep much, and I don't. It's the truth. I don't. My wife will say, I used to sleep a lot. I used to sleep, but now, hey, I'm up. I'm up. Oh, I'm up. Again, your leadership has to be good. You cannot be somebody who does not practice a thing or is not producing results, and you want others to practice it. They say, when I was listening to Mama Edepo said she fast 7 days for husband ministry. If I knock your head, you are listening to somebody, you produce results. You produce results as a husband. Don't be those who speak, who are ahead of us, they do not speak so that we use their words as a weapon against our wife or our husband. They speak to encourage us. When Mama Edepo was saying that she used to fast 7 days for her husband, she was speaking to encourage you so that you can also do the same, not so that you can use it to insult your wife. So lead. When you lead properly and you lead respectfully, respecting her agency, your wife will thrive, and she will do so in her own way without you forcing it down her throat or doing anything like that. All right. Issues with AS issue. I mentioned this 2 days ago. It is important that if you want to marry, if you desire to marry, that you are deliberate about the kind of person you want to be with, and not about what you will gain from the relationship. So again, a lot of people that live abroad, they want to marry, but they are thinking, I want to bring my wife here. She will now become a nurse. When she becomes a nurse, she will now be earning $60,000 per year or per month. We will now buy mansion. Again, when poverty, like I said 2 days ago, poverty informs a lot of people's thinking. Say, I want the person to be a nurse so that she can make money. Nursing is what is selling in America now. Nursing. That is poverty. That's poverty. That's poverty there. That's the definition of poverty. It has nothing to do with loving you, nothing to do with fulfilling you. You just want to bring the person in for the sake of money. So when a lot of people talk to me about these things, and I just shake my head because some of them are much older than me. And when they are talking, I just be like, if you've not gotten it by now, you can never get it. If you want to marry a wife, you want to marry a wife to be in your life, to be your wife. That's what you are looking for. Any other advantage, not seeing all those things, they are not supposed to be the driving force behind you're looking for a wife. So I believe I've answered that person's question about. Okay. So I'm talking about those who borrow money now. It's a bad idea to borrow money from your wife or from your husband. Bad idea. Bad idea. Again, my boyfriend borrowing money from girlfriend, because what that does is that it is going to put leverage or guarantee on emotion. You want to study abroad or you want to do a business, then you come to me and you say, JSW, borrow me money. And I say, how much do you need? You tell me you need 50 million naira. And I say, okay, what is the collateral? You say, no, borrow me because you love me. Ah, no, I can never do that. Oh. No, there are two things. Thank God my wife is at home. She's saying, I can never, ever, ever put money in a relationship, except I'm giving the money out. Because the relationship will get bad. Money has this way of staining relationship, of ruining relationships. So girlfriend borrows money from you, then the money does not come and she disappears. You don't see her again. I have a sister, for example, in the fellowship who borrowed some money from me. And then from that time, she had been quiet. Quiet to the point I'm worried. I'm like, if I don't, I would have given her the money. If I knew that once she gets the money, she will just disappear. Because what is the point? You collect money from somebody, you are not going to be able to repay the money, and then it will ruin a good relationship. You notice boyfriend, girlfriend, or man and wife, they borrow money from each other, and then there's resentment. He cannot return the money. The wife keeps asking him. Every time he wants to sleep with the wife will be like, every time she wants to ask him something, it will be like, hey, but you know I'm still owing you, so I cannot give you. So you have basically ruined the no, 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 no. Don't borrow each other money. Don't. Anything you give the person you are married to is a gift. Give. Give. But don't borrow each other money. Now, if you say, okay, my husband wants to start a business or my wife wants to start a business, and he or she wants to take a loan, right? Wants to take a loan from you, that they will sign documents and that there is guarantee. Like I tell people, one of the things I learned from Ebuka Oshika, the pastor Ebuka Oshika, she said when she wanted to start her business, she had nobody who would give her money. But she was attending a church, and there was a man in that church who has 3 daughters. And the man wanted her to succeed as an example to his own children. So the man called her, and the man said, what are you doing now? I said, oh, I want to own a factory of my own, and I want to stock this factory with equipment and raw materials so that I can produce my chairs. The man said, how much do you need? Said he told the man 3 million naira at the time. 3 million naira. Said the man said, okay, go to any bank, ask them for their terms and conditions to loan you 3 million naira. Said, okay, he went to the bank, she went to the bank. Okay, if I want to borrow 3 million, how much will I pay back? What is the criteria? They told her. Then she came back to church the following Sunday and told the man. So the man then told her, on Tuesday, go to that bank, they will give you the loan. Then the man himself then went to the bank on Monday, sat with the manager of the bank, put 3 million in a bank account in that bank as guarantor, as guarantee, saying that, okay, this girl is borrowing 3 million from your bank, but I'm paying 3 million into your account. So she will take a loan and she will pay it with interest back to you. But so that you will not disturb her, you will not stress her, I'm putting 3 million in your bank. So the man paid 3 million into the bank. And then she went on Tuesday and the bank gave her 3 million naira loan. So all she had to pay back, all she had to pay the bank after that was the interest. You see, was the loan and the interest. But the man already got her back. When I heard her say that, my heart rejoiced. And I've done that for many people since then. That rather than just give you money and then ruin the relationship we have, let's get an agency in between. let me be the one to go and borrow money from them so that me and you can continue to flow, because that's what money does. Yoruba people will say, "Oh, bojo ọ̀rẹ́." Money ruins friendship. Money ruins relationships. If you really love the person you are with, please don't borrow the person money. Don't borrow money also from the person. It ruins good relationships. I'm begging you, don't do that. Okay. So I'm moving to another question now on the issue of friends, because I wanted to talk about those ones, how to deal with external relationships. There are some women here, they have female friends, and they are committed to those female friends more than their marriage. Committed to those female friends more than their marriage. They will call the female friend in the morning, they will gist. A husband told me that if he was sleeping with his own wife and the wife phone rang and the wife looked at it and it was her best friend, that the wife would push him off to go and receive that call. No. I was like, what kind of what kind of friendship is that? Now the friend is female, she wasn't cheating, but she had committed too much to that friendship to the detriment of her own marriage until the marriage got divorced. There are some men also that their friends who, if they slept with their own wife, they will pick the phone and tell their friend. Marriage is not for little children. Marriage is not for little children. Marriage is for matured adults. Nobody should bring children vibe into marriage. It is not allowed. Your husband or your wife are the number one, the numero uno in your life. When you are with your husband, all other communications must cease. I mean that. If this session is very important that I'm doing, if I have walks in and kisses me, all of you, I will just say, let us share the grace. That's the end. It's the truth. But she wouldn't do that because she's not a child. She knows, oh, this is important. But yeah, I'm trying to make you see how you prioritize things that are important. Because at the end of the day, when you grow old and you look back at your life, do you know the things that you will remember, that matters, that you will remember, should be the things that you did with your own wife and family. And then your friend and other people can come into it. I've read a lot of biographies in my life, a lot. And rarely do they start a biography by talking about a man's best friend. They start by talking about him. They talk about how he met his wife. If you read biographies, you will see. They will talk about how he had his children. Then, second or third chapter, they begin to talk about other relationships. You shouldn't be in somebody's chapter 1 of his biography where you are not the person's husband or wife. Abba. You shouldn't be featuring at all. And nobody should be featuring in your biography when the person is not your husband or your wife. The people that in a biography, the order is they talk about the person going up years, they talk about the person's friendships when the person is young, then they talk about how the person met his wife, how you got married. They will talk about the person's parents in the first chapter, but before they begin to talk about, oh, you now became Wole Soyinka became friends with Femi Johnson. It will be chapter 3 or chapter 4 of the book. And so you should know that in the way we prioritize things. We should prioritize our friendship, our relationship with our husband, our spouses, husband and wife, greater than any other relationship. Now, some of us, when children come, we then divert our attention to the children at the detriment of our marriage. Some people actually got married just to have children. I noticed that some people, they are kind to their spouses until they have a child. Once the baby comes, they shift their attention to the baby and then they become mean to their spouse. This dysfunctional behavior is ungodly because see, when you turn your attention away from your husband or wife to the baby, he will not notice immediately. He would think it will wear off, right? So he would be patient for maybe 6 or 7 months. That, oh no, it's the baby. He's trying to raise the baby, and then you are raising the baby, and then he notices that 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, you are cold towards him, but you are hot for the child. Do you expect him to be jealous of the child? No, he will go out. It's the truth. And sometimes when they bring cases like that to me, the woman will tell me that he cheated. Like as if the thing did not have a cause. While I'm not saying the person should cheat, I'm saying look at it. You must be logical. You must trace the source of affliction in order to kill it. So you turn away from this guy, and before you gave birth, you've not been having sex with him. And then you had the child, you clinged to the child, and then after clinging to the child, he was looking for love. He couldn't find love, companionship. He couldn't find. You treat him like a pariah. You don't care about him. Treat him like the enemy. Your attention is on the child. He begins to become a third wheel in a marriage of his. And then there is, God will save you. There will be some sisters at our office that will be doing office wife, or they'll be cooking, bringing food for him. Hey, just say it in English. Oh, Taylor. Hey, hey. Then you come to me and you begin to cry that Balavinga, he cheated. I don't want that. All these things. When we upset the balance of a relationship, we then open the door to the enemy, and then we'll be the one to cry foul the most. That's not fair. So don't let us walk with that or walk like that. Oh, we're talking about marital consent now. Somebody has a question about father's marital consent. If you are above 40, you're an OG. Do you hear me? Either you are male or female. If you're above 40, you find somebody you love and you want to be with the person, it is absolutely your decision. If you are in your 20s, you must take the person home. Your parents must look at it and they must give consent. There's a particular age. When you clock 40 like this, that is the age of what you consider the age of maturity, of awareness. Moses was 40 when he left Egypt. He was 80 when he came back. He was 120 when he died. 40 years is very important in the once a person clocks 40. If you want to get married, you don't want all of us to come. You want to just take your wife, you yourself, and you and your wife alone. You want to go to registry, or you and your husband want to go to registry, get two strangers to do witness for you. Marry and then announce to us, I am married. All of us, we have no somebody to say, glory to God, hallelujah, because nobody decides for a 40-year-old anymore. If you're a fool at 40, congratulations, that's how you will be. If you are wise at 40, congratulations, that's how you will be. So again, when we are talking marriage in the African context, we should separate many things. Nobody tells a 40-year-old, you cannot marry unless I give approval. No, when somebody is above 40, the person, your Bible says, the person has become an independent authority on his own life. We should allow the person the total freedom to live and love. All right. So the place of prophecy. Somebody asked a question regarding prophecy. So a lot of people will say, they give me prophecy that I must marry Brother Gbenga. Hey, I dealt with this thing. Oh, I'm telling you, when God is not mad, He will tell 20 people to come and marry you. They just be receiving messages. We just be receiving messages from all sorts of people. God said, God said, God said, God said, God said, God said. That means, I said it yesterday, God does not prophesy. There is nothing, there is nothing about prophecy that opens you into a marriage. Nobody prophesies you into a marriage. Don't let ignorant people tell you, thus says the Lord, and you call it prophecy. It is not prophecy. No, don't let it. Just when you have the right to believe or not to believe me, but absolutely that is the truth. They can prophesy a child. That's acceptable. The Bible gave us several examples of children being spoken forth before they were born. Isaiah, Asa, Asaph, Jesus, John the Baptist. There are so many children that were spoken forth before they were born. So prophecy validates that a person can receive prophecy of a child. But go find in the Bible for me a prophecy that talks about somebody marrying somebody. Find it. It is not. It is impossible. So there's no precedent for it. It's not acceptable. Marriage is an horizontal issue. So that's how we treat it. You can receive prophecy of a child, but you cannot tell me. No, I was in church. One brother just came and he said, Shandaba, Benga, you are going to marry Queen Elizabeth. That's absolute rubbish. It's not acceptable. It is not Christian. It is not biblical. So it is important that all of us know that. All right. So somebody is talking about polygamy here. Person said, since I spoke about single parenthood and all that, am I also saying polygamy is acceptable? If you read the Bible clearly, the way you should read it, you will see that bishops, leaders of the church, are prohibited from having more than a wife. However, laity, members of the church, have their discretion. I want to be clear again so that it will be, you can go and ask your pastors in your churches if they will follow the Bible. Polygamy is not a sin at all. Doesn't mean I want to practice it. But what is not a sin, we should then not say it is a sin. There are several of us whose parents have polygamous relationships. There are several people in this world now who have polygamous relationships. They are not going to hell because they have more than one wife. Nobody is going to hell. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. The condition for going to hell is not believing in Jesus. The Bible made that clear 100%. Those who believe in him shall be saved. All the addition you people are putting there is wrong. Don't add anything, don't take anything from scripture. That somebody has 2 or 3, the Jews that are being converted in Acts chapter 2, that were saying, oh, we want to be saved. Many of them have 2 wives. The Jew was a polygamous society. How many wives did Jacob have? So many people are Jews. Hannah and Penina and Elkanah. Their society was, David had 4 wives. Solomon had hundreds. Their society was a polygamous society. When the Holy Spirit came, it met the polygamous society. They became Christians. many of them as polygamous people. It's in the Bible, Acts chapter 2. They didn't tell them that you must leave your wife before you can become a Christian. As many people as received the Holy Ghost, they became Christians. And that was why they could separate it in the book of Acts, in the book of Timothy, that, hey, if you want to ordain, those who will be bishops and leaders of the church must be a husband of one wife. If all of them had one wife, there will be no need for that qualification. But they had to qualify it because some people had more than one wife. They said must be a husband of one wife, a man that can take care of his own household. Please. So again, don't allow the cultural mentality of the West and their their psychological operations to affect how you think. It is not a sin to have more than one wife. However, if you want to live long, maybe you see all the things I've been talking about for 3 hours. I'm talking to those who have one. See all the English. One wife, one husband. It's all this English. Imagine. Imagine it is 2 or 3 wives and one husband. We will have to put in rules like the Muslim world. We'll have to start telling women to wear the jalabia or baka. We have to cover somebody's eye. You have to do eleha. For you to have peace of mind alone, you have to wear uniform for your own society. See the Muslim world. See how they are wearing uniform for themselves. It's because they have more than one wife. You cannot be truly free. And you cannot truly satisfy them. So that is why it is advisable that you must have only one wife. But the Bible has, anyway, if you have any scripture that you want to, so the thing they used to practice about restitution, where they would say those who have more than one wife, that they would drop all the other wives and keep only to the first wife, is not in the Bible at all. It was the the colonialists, when they began to have Christians in Africa. In fact, if you read the history of South Africa, the things they did for those people, it was worse than what they did to us in Nigeria. Because of this apartheid they practiced, they wrote there that the only thing blacks know how to do is to make babies and to have several wives. So they had to come up with laws. And those laws, they were preached on the altar of churches. It was the same way they preached them on the altar of slave trade in those days. I'm not saying this. I'm just trying to make you separate the political aspect of religion from the true aspect of religion. All of us wearing suit and tie today, Jesus did not wear suit and tie. It was the influence of the West on Eastern philosophy that made it like everybody, if you don't wear suit, a pastor must wear suit. Jesus didn't wear suit. Disciples didn't. And so you have to understand that they brought their culture also with it. And many of the things they exported from their culture cannot be found in the Bible. That's the truth. So again, polygamy does not take anybody to hell, does not stop God from talking to you, but it stops you from being a pastor, stops you from being a church leader, because we don't want to be part of your drama. Okay, so somebody is asking a question now about separation and sexual issues. So a man and woman are separated, and I think the man or the woman then started a new relationship, and he or she is asking, I'm not officially divorced from this man or from this woman, and I find myself having sex with the person. I'm feeling guilty, I'm feeling terrible and all that. Okay. When it comes to marriage, there is a vital aspect and a legal aspect. I know many of you are aware that if I have the money, I could travel to London, meet a white girl or an African that has her papers, or go to America, pay her. She then marries me. We have pictures, we have documents, and then I'll use the document to file for our citizenship, and I will then become a citizen. But myself and this person may not have sex at all. It could just be marriage in paper. That is what we call a legal marriage. Marriage in paper. Marriage in the document of government. This is not heaven. This has nothing to do with heaven. In Nigeria, it is the Ministry of Interior, not the church. The certificate for your marriage that is available and tenable in courts. It's not the church. The church does not, they don't recognize church certificates in courts. They recognize the official government certificate of the Ministry of Interior. So all the sentiment you have about church wedding is not true. It's not real. It's just in your head. Your certificate in church is not acceptable. It's just sentiment. The one that is acceptable is the one at the local government. That is the legal aspect of the marriage. Legal. The vital aspect of marriage is that two people see each other and they love each other. They don't even need a document for that. You know, a man and a woman see each other, they love each other, they are holding on, they make a vow to each other, they do everything, they love each other, and they get married. Naturally, we shouldn't need a document to say this is legal. The reason they issue document is because so that they can protect the interest of the partner in case a partner dies and people want to inherit property and they begin to lay claim. So in the olden days in Africa, a man dies, people will come and throw away the wife and children, and they go to court and they say it's our son. And this man says she's the wife. All right, because of time, apologies for the breaking transmission. I was talking about vital and legal aspect of marriage. And I've already explained the legal aspect. The vital aspect is that two people love each other and that they are together in a committed relationship. That is the vital aspect. So if husband and wife are no longer together vitally, that means a man and a woman, they've separated. There is no vitality, the relationship is dead. So the other part, the two of them have a right now to live, to meet other people. Yeah, that you are married and that the marriage did not work out does not mean that your life should become desolate all your life and that you should not move on with your life. If two people are together and they are vitally married, they are in the same house, sharing the same house, sleeping with each other, they are vitally married. So the legal aspect of it, the paper is just a paper. It's a paper that protects the two of them in that marriage. Okay, so both of them decide that they are going to part ways and they parted ways. The marriage is over. The paper may take time to undo, but they are no longer married. I want to make that clear. The paper, sometimes people's divorce can go on for 5 years. I've seen the divorce that went on for 7 years. One of my sisters, who I met maybe year 2000, just wrote to me last week that, Babinga, my divorce is final. 5 years in court. So in that 5 years, you think she didn't meet somebody else? In fact, she's already in a relationship that we are planning that we are going to do wedding in March. In March this year, we are going to do wedding. And she just got her divorce in, I think, December. But she and the man has not been together for 7 years. I know somebody else, the man that has left Nigeria for Canada, has remarried in Canada, has 2 children in Canada. This girl is alone in Nigeria. She's the only one that goes to court on the day they want to do divorce case. She was one that filed for divorce. I gave her money to file for divorce because the man has moved on. The man is moved on, has children, has a wife in Canada, but both of them were married. Then the man, vitally, they've separated, the man has gone. But the man did not sue for divorce. The man just said, I'm not doing it again. And then the man packed his load and left. Then she is in Nigeria. She didn't file for divorce. She was living her life. Then she met a person, somebody that wants to marry her. Then she now told the person that I used to be married. I'm not divorced. The person now said, okay, where is your divorce certificate? She now said, my ex-husband did not file for divorce. And I also did not file for divorce. The person now laughed and the person stopped calling her. The person stopped talking to her. Then she came to me and she said, well, I don't understand. I met this guy, fantastic guy, Kiniko, but when I told him that my husband has left me and that I'm not divorced yet, he said he cannot be with somebody who is not divorced. And this man did not file for divorce. I said, go and file for divorce now. I gave her the money. I even gave her the contact of the lawyer. Go and meet the lawyer. File for divorce. Go ahead. You are no longer married, but on paper you are married. That is the difference between vital and legal marriage. So if somebody that is separated absolutely out of a marriage, but the paper is still in court, now meet somebody else, you cannot tell the person not to move on with their life. You cannot tell the person, no, wait until the court finish this case before you can date anybody again. That's not true. The person will be 52, 70 or now imagine that the person doesn't have a child and that she and the husband couldn't have children. That was why they parted ways, like the case of this sister. So the husband has moved on, met somebody else, already has children with that one. This sister, she gets pregnant, but every time at the 4th month or 5th month, pregnancy will come down. They tried it 5 times, and on those 5 times, pregnancy came down the 5th month. Husband went to pray somewhere. They told the husband that this lady is a witch, that she will never have children, and that the husband should leave her. So the husband left her, met another woman, left for Canada, and now he has children. So this lady came to me and she's saying that, I'm already 37. I want to try again. I'm trusting God to heal me. I will be a mother. Okay, you are not telling her that. Wait for 5 years until the divorce paper comes out before you can have relationship with another man. So she will be somebody that cannot carry baby to term when she was 32, 33. You want her to come and carry baby to term at 42. Please, let's exercise some sense. I'm begging. For the sake of God, we should have sense. Yeah? Okay. So she then met this person and I told her, go and file. So she has filed. Case is in court. They are still doing court case. But there was nobody challenging the court. So that was faster. Her divorce was done, I think, in a year. But that was because the husband did not come to challenge. There was no court case. There was no custody. There was nothing to fight over. Just for her to be free. But in that time, she met another person. As I speak with you now, she's married. No. She's pregnant in her 6th month. But her divorce just came out. Her divorce paper just came out. So you are going to tell her that, no, don't sleep with anybody. Please. When it comes to legalism and the way it works, this thing gives me a headache. I don't like. Human life is not that complicated. So don't let us put legalism into it. So this is already 6:54. Apologies for the break in transition earlier. We will have to close the session in a few minutes. I know that I answered most of the questions that were brought forth. I know that if there's any I didn't answer, I'm surely going to then have to write to you or send you a voice note so you can still send me a message. But I didn't answer my question, so I will look into it. But the essence of the Marriage and Relationship Academy is to help our marriages. It's not just to talk around marriage, it's to help us to do better. Some of the things that I spoke about today, if you know you need to work on them, work on them. If you are a brother, you know that you don't know how to make love properly, you can send me a message. I told you I was taught, I can teach. You are a sister, you said, oh, I hate sex, you need whatever. I will find somebody we have somebody, not I will find, we have people in the ministry who will talk to you and talk you through the process so that you can begin to enjoy sexual relationship with your husband or your wife. If you need to forgive your spouse, forgive. If there is any resentment, let it go. If you have a bad habit and you are the one with addiction issue, you are the one that has gambling problem, you are the one that has drinking problem, or all those things, you are a problem. You are a liability to the marriage. You may be the man, you may be the woman. Instead of being a blessing to this marriage, you are a liability. You know what they do to liabilities? Liabilities choke the life out of every business. So you are choking the life out of your marriage. You can turn liability to asset by making a decision that, hey, I'm going to do well, I'm going to do better.